Yes, sir.
Yeah. Again, I strongly suggest the participant to be on video, whoever have a proper bandwidth and wanted to gain completely from every single session, every single minute. So turn on your camera and so that I can also see you. More than the language we speak, your body language, communicates better. So I could see your face and then understand whether you are following or not. All right. So yesterday you all have realized that Six Sigma means, it's a near perfect performance. We are trying for we are seeking perfection, and then we ensure we always perform around 100%. We try to keep our success rate close to 100%. This is what you discussed as DPMO. 3.4 defects per million opportunities. You produce 1 million parts and then there are only 3 or 4 defects. The chances of things going wrong are very, very minimal, isn't it? That means the success rate is close to 100%. We exactly call it as 99.999%. 99.999%. So Six Sigma is all about preventing the defect by making improvement at the process level in a systematic manner. Systematic manner in the sense, we make that adjustment only once, and then we ensure that the same mistake or the same failure never happens again. That is the meaning of systematic improvement, right? Otherwise, trial and error improvement means we improve and again the result will fall down. In Six Sigma, our intention is not that. We would like to fix the problem, fix the issues permanently, right? So systematically we improve the process, thereby defects are reduced and gradually defects are prevented completely. That means that we are trying to make our process more and more effective. We are trying to make our process more and more effective. We may not reach 100% initially, but ultimately we want to, perform around 100%. Right? Slowly we enhance the effectiveness of the process. The effectiveness, the fundamental definition of effectiveness is the ability of a process to produce defect-free outputs in general. I am talking in terms of input-output. This is applicable to all of you. Whether you are into manufacturing or you are into service or you are into some other kind of business, yes, everywhere, you have process and the process converts the input into output. In order to convert the input into output, you perform several activities, yes or no? You perform
Yes.
certain activities by which the input is converted into output. And it is very important that all your outputs are defect-free. If all your outputs are defect-free, then the process is considered to be an effective process. If the process is ineffective, then there will be a lot of failures in your output. So let's say we conduct the training program and then at the end of the training program, we conduct an examination. If all of you get through the examination in the first attempt, then the training can be considered to be an effective, yes or no?
Yes.
Suppose if half of you are not able to pass the exam, then the training is ineffective, right? So same logic is applicable. Any process, if the output, if there is a guarantee that output can be defect free, you can call the process effective. So Six Sigma is a measure of process effectiveness. When I say a process is operating at Six Sigma, then its effectiveness is close to 100%. And to be precise, it is 99.999%. In terms of success rate, it is 99.999. In terms of failure rate, it should be lesser than 3.4 DPMO. Right? And sometimes we also use the term sigma level. Higher the sigma level, higher the success rate. Higher the sigma level, lower the failure rate. When I say 6 sigma, that means success rate is 99.999. When I say 3 sigma, success rate will slightly drop. From 99.999 it will come down to 99.73. When I say 2 sigma, 99.73 will come down to 95.45. When I say 1 sigma, 95 will come down to 68. Just imagine if you are running a process or if you are producing something with the 5% rejection rate, then what is your success rate? What is your yield? 5% rejection means 95% is your success. That means your process is currently operating with 6 sigma capability. Sorry, two sigma capability, because it is 95, right? 95% success rate means your capability is 2 sigma. Now you improve the success rate. Now 95 becomes 99.73. Now your capability is 3 sigma. In order to claim that our capability is 6 sigma, the success rate must at least be 99.999%. This is what you have understood with an example of Dabbawala and Swiggy and things like that. But you should be able to understand what is success. First of all, you should define what is success and what is failure. What is success and what is failure, isn't it? When I produce a product and then there can be defects that can happen in my product. And so if the definition of success and failure is properly available, then accordingly you can measure your performance in terms of sigma level, in terms of yield, or in terms of DPMO and things like that. Okay, so now that what we understood is Six Sigma is a measure of process effectiveness. In other words, ability of a process to produce defect-free outputs. Hope it is clear to all of you.
Yes.
On the other hand, we also talked about lean yesterday. So in Six Sigma, the focus is, primary focus is on reducing the defects. In lean, we always say the primary focus is reducing the waste. Reducing defects, you have understood. What is a defect? Any non-conformance is a defect. Any form of failure is a defect, right? So the fundamental definition of defect is understood. Similarly, what is waste? Anything that doesn't add value in the eyes of the customer, right? When you look at things from the eyes of the customer, and if you are not able to recognize any value, then that should be called as waste or a non-value adding activity. I can also define Six Sigma with the other way. When the lean the other way. When we say Six Sigma is, reducing the defects or producing defect-free output. In lean, the focus is to optimize the consumption of the input. In lean, the focus is on optimizing the consumption of the input, but without compromising the output. Please understand very carefully. We don't want to compromise on the output. For a specific output, for a specific level of quality, how can I optimize the resource consumption? In order to produce a particular output, I wanted to ensure I consume the required input only, not anything in excess. If I consume the input more than the required value, then I will become inefficient. Yes or no? The input can be time, input can be effort, input can be raw material, input can be manpower, input can be machinery, input can be electricity, input can be water. These are all various forms of resource. If I consume the resources excessively for producing an output, you can understand I am working in an inefficient manner because I am consuming the resources excessively. Yes or no? So any form of excessive consumption of resource, the moment you understand the resources are consumed excessively, you can immediately use the word inefficiency. Yes or no? And any form of inefficiency is known as waste. Any form of non-conformance is known as defect. And any form of inefficiency is known as waste. If a work can be completed in 5 minutes, but your team is completing the same work in 8 minutes, can you see a waste happening here? Extra 3 minutes is waste, yes or no? Extra 3 minutes is waste. So the perspective is different. However, please note Six Sigma focus more on the output. Lean focus more on the input. At the same time, while trying to enhance the quality of the output, you should not compromise on the input consumption. Similarly, in lean, while when you are trying to optimize the input, you should not compromise on the output. Yes or no? That's quite obvious. Just because I want to optimize, reduce the consumption of input, it doesn't mean that I can compromise on the quality. Just because I need more quality, it doesn't mean that I can consume whatever I want. So both of them can complement each other so nicely. That is why, the Lean and Six Sigma, is getting integrated nowadays and getting deployed as an integrated approach. What do we call it as? Lean Six Sigma. So effectiveness cannot be compromised and efficiency must always be optimized. Agree, all of you? Effectiveness cannot be compromised. If I compromise on the effectiveness, then my customer, they have to receive defective items. Which business, will survive? If you have the habit of supplying defective items, no business can survive. So effectiveness cannot be compromised. But at the same time, effectiveness must be optimized. You know why? If I don't optimize my efficiency, then I cannot be profitable. I supply high quality products to my customer, but I remain inefficient internally. Then what will happen? Even though I produce high quality product, I sell, the high quality products and services, still my profit is, very thin, or even I can be at loss. So both are important. Any business, customer satisfaction is important. At the same time, profitability is also important. There has to be a proper balance. If this is not happening, then survey will become a big question mark. So, of course, your customer satisfaction takes the priority. That's why all of you are doing everything to ensure, always a quality product, reaches the market. But once you ensure that, then your immediate focus should be on looking at your, efficiency of operation. How are you operating to produce that quality product? Can you find a better way of producing the same product? Better way in the sense it is either easier, or it is either cheaper, or it is either faster. Do you understand? The better way of doing a work means I keep on changing, my, what to say, the way I produce my product. I keep on focus on, improving my existing process. Because of which, what happens? Either the work becomes easier to the employees. If the work becomes easier, is it advantageous? Definitely advantageous, isn't it? All your employees will enjoy the work at the same time, produce the result effortlessly. What they were struggling, to complete in 30 minutes time, now they will effortlessly complete it, with a higher level of perfection in just 10 minutes. Win-win scenario. So one way of improvement is making the job easier to people. Think of doing some, project in this direction. Can you make the job easier for people, particularly employees? Another way of improvement is making the work faster, making the work happen at a faster rate. Do something. And that means, you are able to produce faster, the lead time can come down. As the lead time comes down, automatically what will happen? The cost can also go down, because you are now able to save time, produce more. So making the, getting the job done faster is another way of improvement. These are all, nothing but, the project identification ideas. Project identification ideas. You can actually identify project and then drive the project to success, towards success, and you can add it in your profile. Yes, I have done this project and productivity has gone up like this. I have done this project and quality has improved. So you make the job easier, or make the job happen faster. Another keyword is make it cheaper. You produce the same product, same quality, but now the cost of producing the product, is going down. This is another form of improvement. I have used the 3 keywords so far. Number 1, easier. And number 2, faster. And number 3, cheaper. And number 4 is making your products more and services more and more better. Now the 4th keyword is better. Now what are the 4 keywords? Can you type it in the chat box? Better, faster, cheaper, and finally easier. Please type those 4 words. Any one of these should necessarily be the goal in any project. If any one of the 4 is not happening, don't call it a project. It is not worthwhile to call it a project if any of these four is not going to happen. Either the product should become better, or you should be able to produce faster, or you should be able to manufacture it at a cheaper price, or finally the job must become easier for the people, right? So these are the four improvements, and eventually, we should be able to hit. As a result, the quality will go up, cost will go down. If the quality is going up, everybody would love to buy your product. At the same time, your product price is now very competitive in the market. Yes or no? Product quality wise is also good, and price is also cheaper comparatively. With respect to the competition, yes, yours is the lowest one. Literally everybody would like to buy one. At the same time, your business is so responsive. Anybody places order and you are able to deliver it faster. And your employees, they love doing the job with you. So you are really creating a great scenario. And as a result, what will happen? Your profit margin will improve. Your profit margin will improve. Though you are selling the price at a very competitive price, your profit margin is going up. And what will happen to your operating cost? Operating cost will come down. If the operating cost is going down, what it actually means? It means you really don't require a big money to run the business. Yes or no? What you have been doing with, let's say 10 crores, you are now able to run the entire operation smoothly with just 5 crores. Is it not a great scenario? You don't have to really rely on loans, and loans comes with some interest. All of these things can be avoided. This is known as bottom line growth or bottom line improvements. These are known as bottom line improvements. Bottom line improvements are nothing but we make changes in the way our team is operating. We make changes in the way our team is operating. What they are performing on a daily basis, we are making some improvements. Every improvement is nothing but a project. But you should be able to recognize the improvement opportunity that exists in the shop floor, in your workplace. You can always say everything is perfect and then close the job. Close the discussion. Or you can always, understand there will be a scope for improvement. All right. So that's how, the Lean or Six Sigma or any other approach. Ultimately, the goal is improvement. Ultimately, the goal is improvement. And there are 4 types of improvement I told you. Better, faster, cheaper, and then easier. Very simple. So we will now go to the slides. And today we will try to complete the basics. And then, we'll also try to complete the defined part of the DMAIC methodology. Oh, God. All of you should be able to see my screen now, isn't it? Lean Six Sigma certification training. Please do confirm.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is
Yes,
very
sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is
Yes,
there.
sir.
yeah. Thank you
Yes.
very much. Thank you very much. So this is what Vivek also shown you yesterday. And then there are certain headings we will try to understand. So you have discussed about Dabawalas, and their performance is definitely above Six Sigma because they just attract one complaint out of 16 million transactions. It takes 80 days, 80 operational days, 80 working days for them to attract one customer complaint. Right? And really a great performance. But when it comes to the modern Dabawalas, yes, they are definitely much below the capability compared to the Six Sigma. Because there are so many complaints happening nowadays. You just discussed yesterday, delayed delivery, food going wrong, packaging issues, behavioral issues, pricing issues, so many issues. And you also spoke about lean seven waste, isn't it? Teamwood, transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, defects. Please note in lean, defect is a subset of waste. Lean also talks about defects. But defect is a subset of waste. The broader focus is waste elimination. In lean, defect is also considered as a wasteful activity. Lean is all about identifying and eliminating waste. In Japanese language, waste is known as muda. M-U-D-A, muda. All right. Okay. So Six Sigma aims to continually eliminate the defects. Lean aims to continually eliminate the waste. How? By making your process more and more intelligent. By making your process more and more intelligent, thereby people around the process should eventually become intelligent. Otherwise, what will happen? There will be a replacement happening, right? But here, why do we suggest you to focus on process first? Because people always will have a tendency to resist the changes, right? So don't work with the changing the people's mindset and everything straight away. Of course, that is good, but always there is a way to fix your problems at the process level first, right? So first focus on the process improvement. At the same time, parallelly focus on people improvement. Train them, provide them the required skill, and all of that you can do. But the primary focus should be on process. Why should we do this exercise? Why should we continuously focus on process improvement, people improvement? Why should we make them more and more intelligent? Because we wanted to see to that we operate better than our competitor. Yes or no?
Yeah.
If we operate better than the competitor, what does it mean? We should teach all of you better than any other platform. Very simple. If we do that, what will happen to us? You all will get hundreds of clients for us. Yes or no? So, if any company understand this, and if they come forward to operate better than their competitor, the rule of the nature, the company will very soon become number one. Nobody can stop. It will become unstoppable. Today, they may be at a very lower level in the market position. But definitely the company, gets a real chance to become number one. Can you see that, all of you? Yes or no? If you are operationally better than the competitor, definitely in the nearest future, you will become a market leader, no doubt. How many of you believe in my statement? Just imagine your children, your child. I hope all your kids are going to school or a college, and today they are not on the number one level. Does it mean they will never become number one? No. In any class, let's say there are about 50 students. If your kid performs better than the remaining kids in the same class every single day, what will happen to the result? Slowly, you will see the improvement, yes or no? And after 3 months, after 6 months, you will see your kid started performing better than others. That will appear in the result also. If you are operationally better, your results will also be better. Maybe in a span of 1 year, 2 year, you will start seeing your own kid, becoming rank number one in the same class. The same thing is applicable to your company also. If your company is operationally better, very soon your company will become a market leader. No matter whether your company is a startup company or a big company, or a moderately sized company. But they should understand there has to be leaders and who understand the proper meaning of operational excellence. Then definitely in a span of 3 to 5 years, any company can become number one. First, please believe in that. Hope all of you understand the meaning of operational excellence. Excellence means better than others. Operationally excellent means your daily habits, your daily routine, your daily activities are better than others, particularly your competitors. When it comes to the business, if you are operationally better than your competitors, slowly more people will, come to your business, will start preferring your products. And now I am writing a combination here. All of you agree with me? If your company has a combination of poor processes and poor people in all the department, obviously the result will be poor. Second possibility. Average process, average people. The company is working on both. You can see that. Parallelly, they are improving the process. They are also improving the people. So both of them become average. Now your results also now become average. And now what we do? Somehow we focus on, we have converted our processes into brilliant processes. Now you see your results are good. This is something similar to the Dabbawalas. Can you see here? People are just average, but still they are getting the result. The secret is they are backed up by the right processes. And combination of processes and all the elements together is known as the system, right? So brilliant processes and average people can lead to good result. If that is the case, what will happen if your company is a combination of brilliant processes and brilliant people? Now it will start seeing great results. Yes or no?
Yeah.
It will start seeing great result. So the initial focus on the process, parallelly or right after the process improvement, you should also focus on people improvement also. As a result, any company can quickly come to the fourth stage. The combination is brilliant process, brilliant people, and hence the result is great. All of you agree with me? So this is what we are trying to do using the Lean Six Sigma strategy. Using the Lean Six Sigma strategy, we identify processes one by one. We identify not every process, the critical processes, because there can be hundreds and thousands of processes, but definitely there are critical processes which are very, very important to your customer as well as to your business. Those processes identify one by one and strive for a systematic improvement. Systematic improvement means the improvements are sustainable improvements, not just, trial and error improvement. It's a sustainable improvement. So slowly what will happen? If all your key processes, critical processes are equipped to a better state, higher level of effectiveness, higher level of efficiency, you will be able to proudly say you are now operationally excellent. Your competitors are struggling to do the same thing, but your team is doing it effortlessly. I don't know whether you have the best of the technology, or you have the best of the people, or you have the best of the infrastructure, or you have the best of the process. Do whatever, but you are now able to perform better than your competitors operationally. So what will happen? Your company will start achieving its goals. All the business goals the company had, definitely it will start getting realized. Now, before taking a deeper look on this, let us do a small activity now to get to experience what we discussed right now. Let's understand the power of making small improvements at the process level. Power of making small improvement at the process level. First of all, tell me, when I call something as a process, what does it mean? If I call something as a process, what does it actually mean? Do you have process in your real life? How many of you? All
Yes,
of you
sir.
have process, right?
Yes, sir.
Every day you are going to an
Yes,
office,
sir.
your office. That is a
Yeah.
process, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Same set of
yes.
activities you repeat. So the result is you start from your house and then reach your office. That's a process. Every day you are doing it the same way. A set of activities, that transforms or takes you from the current state to the future state, converts your input to output. A well-defined practice exists, standard operating procedure, right? An SOP exists, and people, strictly follow it. Then only it is known as process. If I do the work every single day, in a particular manner. Today I do the work in a particular manner. Tomorrow I do the same work in some other manner. And my friend, who is also part of my team, he is performing the same work in some other manner. Does it mean we have a process? Whether it is right or wrong, everybody should follow the procedure in a disciplined manner. Then a process is considered to exist. If such a discipline exists, improvement is definitely possible. Improvement is definitely possible. Now let's experience this. See here, Henry Ford has made a statement. There are no big problems in any organization, but there are only lots of little problems. Yes or no?
Yes,
If
sir.
you fix all those little problems, and big problems will never happen, right? So try to develop the habit of fixing the problem when they are small. If you ignore, the same thing will become a bigger headache later on, right? So let's do a small exercise. I want all of you to participate. And it's a very, very simple activity. All that required is a notebook and a pen. Hope all of you have it, right? You must have
Yes,
a
sir.
pen and a notebook. Very good. And maybe you can even now prefer to turn on your camera if you are comfortable so that everybody can no look at you and your participation. They can understand your participation. All right. So what I will be doing is I will be showing you a set of numbers and symbols. I'll be showing you a set of 10 numbers, and each number a symbol is assigned. All that you need to do is just memorize the numbers 1 to 10. Very easy to memorize, 1 to 10. And for every number there is a symbol. You all have to just memorize it. Is the job easier? SOP is available. I will be just showing a
Yes.
number and symbol. All of you have to do just memorizing work. We all did that while going for the schooling, isn't it? By guarding everything. The same task I am giving you now, but don't try to be over smart, right? Just taking some screenshot or straight away writing down in your notebook. Please don't do that, right? That is not going to help. So it's an exercise. That's all. So 45 seconds, I will be showing it. Please observe the screen and try to memorize as much as possible. This is the task I'm giving you. And let us start now. Your time starts now. So 45 seconds over. I hope you all have memorized the numbers and the symbol. Now, what will I do is I'll give you another 45 seconds, during which you can reproduce the number and the symbol in your notebook. Let's see how effective you are in reproducing the same number and symbol. At the same time, how efficient you are. Both I'm going to measure. So your time starts now. 45 seconds again. Just 5 more seconds.
Done, sir.
Very good. So please stop writing. So 45 seconds over, please stop writing. So we'll do a self-assessment now. We'll do a self-assessment. So I will show the numbers and symbols again on the screen. Yeah. Please do the self-assessment and you can share your score. If you get 10 out of 10, that's great. So all of you are sharing your score in the chat box. I could see 6, 9, 9, 4, 10, 10, 5, 9, 6, 6, 6, 9, 10, 7, 8, 8, 8. All of you can see. Can you see the variation in your result? All of you, can you notice variation in your result? Everyone was explained the same task for the same, all of you are provided the same resources, yes or no? But then I
Yes, sir.
see a variation in the output. Why there is a lot of variation in the output? This is what is actually, becoming a problem in the business. The output, if there is a lot of variation, some of the output becomes unacceptable. Rarely, few of you got 10 out of 10. Can you see that? Those who got 10 out of 10, yes, you are running an effective process. But overall, the process is not effective. Can I conclude like that? Majority of you that cannot score 10 out of 10. So the process is really, really ineffective. Maybe the job is tougher for you. I don't know. Maybe the process is really in the substandard condition. I don't know. Yes or no? So what exactly is the problem? What to do now? Should I change all of you? Or should I change the trainer so that everybody get 10 out of 10? Or shall I try other possibilities of improving the result, retaining all the current resources, which is a good idea. We need to find ways to improve the result with the existing resources, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That means you should focus on
Yes.
process improvement. Don't straight away jump to concluding that people are wrong. Rather, you can always blame your process. So that is what I'm going to do. Now, the reason for all of you scoring a lower mark, or the reason for the variation in our output, is because of the substandard process. So I am going to slightly modify the scenario. And now tell me whether things are easier now. The same set of numbers and same set of symbols. I'm showing to you again. Now tell me, is it looking easier now than earlier?
Yes.
Will you be able to remember
Yes.
better now?
Very
Yes.
easier.
You can now remember more numbers, more symbols. So all of you can definitely increase your score. But what I want is, I want 10 out of 10. I want 10 out of 10 from each one of you. Then only I will proudly say, I have a process. Then only I will proudly say, when I have a process, the result should be stable and always it should be acceptable. Now, how many of you will get 10 out of 10 now if I repeat the same exercise? Maybe give reactions, something. Okay. I could see, majority of you showing the confidence, but still, some of you might still doubt, yes or no? Some of you might still think, no, sir, I can get only 7 or 8, but not 10 out of 10. There is no end for improvement. Please note, all of you. That's why people call it, continual improvement. You improve, sustain the improvement, again improve, again sustain, again improve. And slowly you will become perfect enough. Yes or no? Shall I show you the next level of improvement?
Yes.
Before I show you the next
Yeah.
level of improvement, tell me, earlier I gave you 45 seconds. You all scored, only 5, 6, 7 kind of marks. But now the first level of improvement, what do you think? Your score can certainly be above 8. Certainly above 8. And what do you think the time required now? Do you still require 45 seconds?
No, sir. No, sir.
No.
Yes.
So your time record is coming down. That means not only your effectiveness is going up, your efficiency is also going up. Please understand, effectiveness and efficiency are internally related. If you are effective, automatically your efficiency will also go up. Now I want to take you through the second level of improvement. And now the second level of improvement, the same set of numbers and the same set of symbols. Now tell me, is it easier for you to remember and then score 10 out of 10?
Yes. Much easier.
All of
Yes.
you this
First,
time? All of you this time?
Yes.
If
first one,
people are backed up by ineffective process, and they can definitely give promising results. Yes or no? 10 out of 10. Each one of you can get 10 out of 10. Tell me how much time you may require now. Do you require 45 seconds?
Maybe 10 seconds.
So you have
10,
improved your effectiveness as well as your efficiency. This is the power of making improvements at the process level. Whether it is small or big, definitely you see an improvement in the overall result, right? So sometimes in lean, we call these kind of small improvements as kaizens, right?
Yes.
Kaizen is a Japanese word which means continuous improvement. Kaizen is a Japanese word which means continuous improvement. So without requiring much investment and approval from the management, so many improvements are possible in the shop floor, in the workplace. Yes or no?
Yes.
Like, within your family, within your house, you can make a lot of improvements without actually going for an additional budget, additional investment. You can always keep your house neat, clean, and keep all the necessary foods prepared, in-house. Actually, it will reduce your budget. Yes or no? So these kind of easily implementable improvements are known as Kaizen. Right? These kind of easily implement. What is required is, people should be motivated enough to involve in the improvement. If nobody is there to prize them for the additional improvements they have achieved, and why they should spend that extra time on those kind of extra activity? So an environment must be created, which should actually motivate people, for their involvement in the improvement work. Some new idea, some small improvement. A machine is always leaking. The operator will definitely know how to stop the leakage. If nobody is appreciating him for the good work he is doing, and he will not focus on such improvement work. Rather, he will focus on only what he is responsible for. So, Kaizen is all about making small, easily implementable improvement, right? So now I would like to play a video which can highlight some improvements, nothing but the Kaizens, small improvements, nothing but the Kaizens in a shop floor, right? And particularly this video will focus on making the job easier for the people. There are 4 types of improvement I told you, right? Your Kaizen can also be 4 types of Kaizen. Certain Kaizens can make the job easier for the people. Certain Kaizens can focus on making the job faster. Certain Kaizens can focus on making the, the product cheaper.
Better.
Or the last one is making the products better. Now this video will illustrate the 4th one. I mean, the making the job easier for the people. And the people working in this particular example is all of them are physically challenged, visually challenged people. You might have seen some companies hiring challenged the people, like either they are physically challenged or visually challenged. Does it mean those companies are ready to compromise on the quality? Then what is their logic? What is their confidence behind recruiting these kind of challenged people? I'm not sharing any screen. Yeah. Then the logic is, quality is a result of your environment, not just people.
Yeah, system.
Quality is not just the result of people alone. It is the result of your the kind of environment, the kind of system you have. So if you make the environment suitable enough to the people who are working in the environment, and definitely they can contribute very well. They can help you to achieve the desired level of quality. They can also help you to achieve the desired level of productivity also. You don't have to compromise on quality. You don't have to compromise on productivity. Rather, make the job convenient enough for them. That's all. Even a physically challenged person also can do the job if you make the work convenient to him. So these kind of cases we are going to now witness through videos. I could see keep on some messages coming to me like, screen not visible. The screen is not visible simply because I am not sharing anything. So every single second you must stay connected with the program, right? And don't come, don't listen to me with a pre-decided mindset, and be present in the present, right? And then you will be able to understand. I am going to play. I am going to play. Yeah, any questions, Alina?
So, like when we make changes to the process, we might be making it easier for the employees or the people who are working on it. But like in my experience, when I was a part where I suggested some changes and we could make those changes in the process. But then it's like people generally, because they have been working in that process, the old process for a long time, so they generally fall back into the old
True.
habits, or they basically oppose, or they're not ready to accept them. So is it a challenge across all industries,
Yes.
or and
Very
how
good.
do
Very
you?
good. Very nice point. Yes, everywhere, yes, people always know there will be resistant to change, right? So you have the responsibility to actually, make them understand the benefits. If I have to construct a, flyover in my area, yes, that will definitely, be a disturbance for the next 6 months. But
Yep.
there is going
So
to be a big benefit after 6 months, isn't it? Unless and until you make the people understand, yes, this is for their welfare, you are making the change right now. But definitely, immediate time, there will be a lot of struggles. There will be a heavy
yes,
traffic and a lot of, stack up will happen. So you definitely have to make them understand. Why are you
because
moving forward? Why are you moving forward with the change, right? You have the responsibility. You have to definitely communicate the change before affecting it, number one.
yes,
And number two,
because yeah,
yeah, number two, if you are really focusing on better result, that is possible only with better processes.
yes, that's
If you are targeting same results, that is very much possible with the same process. So you have to
because
make it, very, very clear. If you are not accepting the change, your future is not going to change. You will live the
yes,
same life.
I mean, how do
Yeah.
you communicate it to the team? Because when I tried to do it in this way, so what I found was that one of my struggles that came out to be was, how do I make these people understand that I have their best interest in my mind? It is not my personal benefit that I'm looking for.
See,
And
we
then
cannot achieve, yeah, I got your point. We cannot achieve big improvement, by contributing as an individual. It's difficult. You should
but
always, think of, working in a team. And
yes, so
particularly certain initiatives have to be driven from the top, have to be driven
that
from the top, right? So we must, first of all, convince the top management to come up with the right strategies, right strategies. And then all the if you develop certain, see, strategies, when I say strategies, it is nothing but a kind of long term initiative,
yes,
a kind of long term initiative. Any company should have a long term plan, long term goal, what we want, what we need to achieve in the next 3 years, 5 years. That, no, the presence of a long term goal is very, very important. And then let us say a company has got a 3 years goal. In 3 years' time, the market share has to reach this level. Every company likes this, isn't it? Right now, your market share is only 10%, 12%, or 20%, but then you wanted to see to that it is at least 50%. That means you want to be a market leader in 3 years' time. The discussion will definitely be very interesting to the top management, right? And so they definitely agree. And now you have to break down this goal, because this goal is meant for, a 3 years time. Now you have to break down and make it actionable on an annual basis. The 3 years goal is now broken down into annual goal. And then still it is not enough, because you want the people to take action at the downline. Yes or no? Not just, you keep on talking things at the top level. No, it will not happen. So we break down the goal. 3 years goal is broken down into annual goal. Now annual goal should be broken down into quarterly goal, monthly goal, weekly goal, and daily goal. And for every goal, target has to be fixed. That means KPIs are required.
yes,
The target we fix for the goal is nothing but the KPI, key performance indicator. So you now have KPIs at the top level, which are known as strategic KPIs. You now have KPIs at the mid-level managers, mid-level leaders, and they are known as the tactical KPIs. You can also call it annual KPIs or tactical KPIs. But where from we identified the tactical KPIs? The tactical KPIs are derived from strategic KPIs. Alignment has to be there. And now tactical KPIs are drilled down to operational KPIs.
Yes.
Now your daily targets are clear. Daily KPIs, it's not just a discussion for 5 minutes and 10 minutes and all the KPIs are ready. No. Sometimes these kind of discussions can go on for more than 6 months.
Yes.
A
That's
big
true.
team of
Yes, sir.
professionals, along with the support of the top management, will be spending quite a considerable amount of time to create all the KPIs. But once you can take as much time as possible to make decisions. But once decisions are made, you must implement the decisions rapidly.
Yes.
You take 6 months. If needed, you take 1 year time to take the decision. But once the decision is taken, no stepping back. You must do everything to implement the plan. All of you agree with me on this?
Yes.
All right. So this is called, strategic planning. Now I am doing something,
I just have one.
I'm talking something from the top. It's a top-down approach, what I am talking right now. Yes. Arvind sir, you
Yes.
want to say something? Yes, sir, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, every KPI has to be supported with financial, I mean to say incentives, or it can be driven just like that. Because most of the people, when we go there and tell them the key changes which the management wants or what we want to implement for the betterment of the company, immediate question comes around is like we require a certain amount of incentive or we require certain amount of cash reward or recognition for this actually. Without this, is it possible for us to implement the process in the field without indicating any of this?
See, KPIs can be identified and then you can make people, achieve the KPIs randomly also. But what I'm suggesting is, I want you to do it very systematically. It should start from the top. Just think about your own personal life. What do you want to achieve in next 3 years, 5 years? Where do you want to see yourself? In terms of, certain metrics. One thing is, the amount of savings you have in your bank account. That is one important metric. After 3 years, 5 years, how much I should have in my bank account. In terms of your health. So you have to be very clear with your goals. Your company will also have. It is market share and maybe the number of products you have right now, right? And so many things, so many metrics we can talk about, client retention rate and so many other things. And some of them are definitely applicable at the top level, which the top management will be interested in. Please note your KPIs can be of 4 types. Your KPIs can be of 4 types. The most important one is financial KPI. Most important one is financial KPI. Any top management will be, definitely interested in seeing the financial KPIs improving. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And another
Yes, sir.
thing is, this is possible only if you keep your customers happy. We can also get, so many participants and then, get a lot of registration. That means, your financial KPIs are improving. But this will continue to happen only if we keep the customers satisfied. So customer KPIs, another type of KPI is customer KPI. How satisfied your customers are. How is your company currently looking to the customers? How the customers are seeing your company? How the customers are currently seeing your products and services? Are they happy? So you need customer KPIs at all levels. Top level, mid level, down level. I mean, bottom line. And the third one is your process KPIs. Your process KPI. Are you really having right processes in place? Right now, our training program, there are so many processes. We have a marketing department performing the marketing process, and then there is onboarding process, and then now training process, and then examination process, then certification process, then dispatch process. Everything is a process. Unless and until you have an effective process, an efficient process, all other KPIs cannot improve. isn't it? So the third important type of KPI is process KPI. And then the fourth one, learning and growth. Learning and growth. Learning and growth KPIs. Vinod Ponnusamy, can I see you? Vinod Ponnusamy. Yeah. Who is Vinod Ponnusamy? I could see a comment. See, I'm talking about a real-time example. What else can be a real-time example than this? We are talking about our own, personal experience. And, please, at the same time, please note all of you, initially, we will be building the basics. Don't expect us to jump to, the advanced discussion. Then half of you, will get disconnected. We don't want that to happen. Right? So we have to build the basics properly. You need to understand how a company should work as a company. If you want to call some organization as a company, as an organization, then it has to operate systematically. Maybe in the current condition today, it may not be performing in that manner, but ultimately it has to become systematic. It has to operate that way only. Then only its survival will become possible. Then only it will slowly grow. So certain understanding has to be developed. So please don't jump to the advanced levels. Definitely that will happen. Some point of time you will try to run away from us when we talk when we start talking about all the what do you call the example industry cases, like what happens with an industry engine, how we optimized an internal combustion engine. Half of you will feel bored. There is a piston reciprocating inside the cylinder, and what is piston? So yes, so we will definitely show you case studies, but please allow us certain time to build the basics. Then we will certainly have a case study and we will talk about it. And you can also bring your example based out of your experience, and that can also be knowledge sharing. So I was talking about this kind of thing, the strategic goal, and then a tactical goal,
Hello,
and
sir.
then operational goal. Yes.
So sorry to interrupt you. This is a
Oh,
Vinod
yes,
Ponnusamy.
Vinod. Yes, Vinod. Yeah, I could see you now.
Sir,
Yes,
I want to share something, clear something about
please.
this. I'm working as a quality control analyst in medical coding. This
Okay.
KPI and all, it's very new to me. So that I'm asking to understand the basic, like what is strategic KPI and all.
That
So
is
that I put
true.
the question.
See, I don't want you to know deep dive into the particular subject right now.
Okay.
Please understand that this exists. Normally, how to develop KPIs and how to align your projects. This is a subject known as enterprise-wide planning. This is not part of your yellow belt module. But still, I think somebody raised a question. I think it is Salina, right? You asked something. Then I started speaking about the goals, right? So try to understand. I am trying to keep the things as simple as possible. If you are able to connect, it's perfectly fine. Otherwise, also just allow me some time to progress. Then you will be able to understand, right? So give me some more time. So I was talking about the goals, the goal alignment, KPIs, and now let us come to the downline, operational KPI. Operational KPI means who is responsible for the downline managers. The downline managers are responsible for operational KPIs. And now just ask yourself, are we having everything to achieve the daily target? Or are there any gaps? If there are any gaps, what should we do? We should fill up that gap. Right? If you don't fill up that gap, that will become a problem later on. Right? So today's problems are nothing but the improvement opportunities. You must learn to see problems as improvement opportunities. Every improvement opportunity is a project. Some of the projects are easily implementable. It may not require any budget, may not require a major change, may not even require, the top management approval. Those projects can be considered as Kaizen projects. Only to connect, this thing, I started from so many things, right? So now I'm giving you a way to proactively identify projects. This is difficult. This is definitely not an easy job. Poniswamy is correct. This is definitely not an easy job. Not many people, many professionals understand the KPI. And I could even tell, all your KPI should be derived from the vision and mission of the company. So it has got something to do with the founder of the company. Please note. No, it has to be connected till the founder's vision. Otherwise, founder's vision will be something, and then company will be traveling in some other direction. And that's not making sense, right? So we will definitely talk about this at a higher level, which we call it as enterprise-wide planning. But however, in the downline, if there is a problem in attaining a particular KPI, that problem should be considered as an improvement opportunity. Don't see it as a problem. Don't see it as a challenge. Rather, take it as an improvement opportunity. So some change is essential. If you are not making the change, your results will not change. If you don't attain your daily KPI, how will you attain your weekly KPI? If you don't achieve your weekly KPI, how will you attain your monthly KPI? If you don't achieve your monthly KPI, how will you achieve your quarterly KPI? If you don't achieve your quarterly KPI, how will you achieve your annual KPI? Now, everybody is now under trouble now. The downline managers are struggling, and so the midline managers also struggling, and so the top line managers will also be struggling. There will be frequent changes at the leadership level. Company will lose its direction, right? So there has to be leaders with appropriate vision to direct the company. Everyone in the company should be directed in a required direction, which we call it as strategic direction. Whether they like it or not, they must come forward and travel only in the strategic direction. All right. So in order to understand the strategies, KPIs have to be developed. Okay. So I think there is a doubt. Yes. Naveen Kumar, yes, please. You can go ahead with your question, Naveen. Where is Naveen? Yes, sir. Please ask. Oh, Naveen, who is Naveen? I'm still not able to see.
Sir, this is Renu here.
Yes, Mr. Renu. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. I want to tell to all our participants, I think all we are like middle management people, I think so. Okay. This course basically to improve our managerial skills sets and how to tackle the issues within our control. Okay, apart from that, there's a lot of things beyond our control, which is taken care by the what sir said, the founder of the companies or CEO level or owner level. Okay, now we focus what are all the problems in the service sector and manufacturing sector, how to tackle that, how to manage that. Okay, because it is a training program and certification program. Okay, so you can link with your service and manufacturing
Correct.
things. Okay, so focus on what the speech or classes given by the faculty, and we have to, because it is a set target time period is there for the course, so we have to complete the course within the limit of the period. Okay, this is my kind request.
Yeah. Thank you, Renu. But certainly, please understand. Definitely, all the dots will get connected, but not straight away. On day number 1 or day number 2. That's not going to happen, right? So we have to progress, and then slowly, as we go through the complete methodology, define, measure, analyze, improve, control, and you start learning more and more tools, start listening to the more and more, the sessions. Then what will happen? You will start understanding so many principles, so many philosophies. These are nothing but the best practices, right? So then you will be able to slowly, you will be able to connect the dots, and you will be able to feel the transformation. I guarantee that. Whether you are, a beginner in your career or you are a very senior most person, still we will see to that you feel the transformation through this course. That is for sure, that will happen. But then it will take its own time. We have realized it. Even we try to with some urgency, we try to jump to certain areas. It will not work. You remember somebody straight away asked me CPCPK. I would have spoken about it, but then it will not help everyone. Maybe if someone who is already familiar with CPCPK, they could understand, but for others they cannot, right? So that's why I'm reserving certain questions. But at the same time, I really want you to interact, right? I really want you to interact, but certain questions I will be parking. right? But that will be addressed later on. Okay, I was talking about the KPIs, and then once you are very clear about the KPI, at least at the downline KPI, if you are very clear, whatever problems, whatever that is not allowing you to reach the KPI, that is the improvement opportunity. This is one way of identifying project. Projects can be identified proactively. Projects can be identified reactively. Reactively means based on the frustrations, based on the customer complaints. You can always know most of the time we work in that fashion only. There is a customer complaint, there is a field failure, we are not able to deliver on time, and we are not able to meet the production target. But these are all reactive approach. Please note. Slowly you have to change from reactive to proactive. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. So I was talking about small improvements at the process level, and which we can call them as cases. And I said I will play a video, and all the improvements in the video are nothing but making the job easier to people. And who will be the kind of people? All of them are visually challenged, physically challenged. If a company can see result by making the job easier to visually challenged and physically challenged people, imagine what will happen if you make the job easier to normal people, right? And that's what we are going to witness. And what?
So 5S is implemented. Visual management.
Yes, 5S. Workplace is organized nicely, like how all of you furnish your house.
Visual management is there. Kanban is also being
Visual management, Kanban.
yeah.
Then
Hanging of
adjustable work table. You have noticed the adjustable work table, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
people
Adjustable
with
wheelchair
visual
also, sir.
challenges. Yeah.
Tap
Some
screwdriver.
temporary
Wheelchair transportation.
hanging
Tap
screwdriver.
screwdriver.
Yeah.
What is the
Movement
benefit of
These are
hanging a screwdriver?
shadow boards are being made because you have
Shadow boards are used. Very good. So by hanging a
Office closure.
screwdriver in front of the
Fatigue reduced.
yeah, fatigue is getting eliminated because operators are convenient in their job while performing the job.
Yeah.
So right now, if your seat is not comfortable, then what will happen? You can't listen to me properly, isn't it? So that's also important. Ergonomically designing the workplace, so fatigue cannot affect the performance. And the hanging screwdriver, the time to look for the screwdriver is eliminated.
Motion is eliminated. Unnecessary motion.
Unnecessary motion is eliminated. Screwdriver, you use it frequently, so it is hanging in front of you. If I keep it under table or a drawer, you have to search for it. You have to pick it up. Again, you have to place it back. Even searching is also a motion. Yesterday, somebody asked, what is motion? Moving your eyeball is also a motion. Yeah. By reducing that, company could save 1 or 2 seconds. And that can make a big difference, isn't it, in the productivity. So I think now you have a better idea about how to make the job easier for employees. Small, easily implementable improvement. But of course, change is not that easier. Even if you tell people, no, it is going to be helpful for them, sometimes, they will still show a lot of resistance. So there is a separate subject known as change management. But all those subjects can come and help you only if your entire organization wants to be systematic. Otherwise, nothing is possible. Yes or no? Yes. So if everything, is, if the entire organization want to be systematic, then only all this knowledge, can be, implemented. Even after you becoming a black belt and immediately going back to your company, can you affect all the changes required?
No.
No.
First
Only
them and then breaking their paradigm. Then only
your thinking will change. You will be able to think better. You will be able to speak better. You will be able to act better. That is possible, definitely. But at the organization level, if something happens of this nature, then, all those strategic planning and everything, will start happening. All right. So anyway, we will slowly, understand all these aspects. Okay. So what is operational excellence? Moving from the current state to market leader, right? Giving your organization a real chance giving your organization a real chance to become number one. Do you understand my definition? Giving your organization, imagine you are running a company. You are running a company on your own. You very well know you are not the market leader. There are many other, companies who are leading the market. And in the current position, if you continue doing the same thing, you will be able to judge, right? Can my company become number one, become a market leader or not? If you ask yourself, will you be able to answer it? If I run my company in the same manner, can my company become number one? You are the entrepreneur now. You are the founder. If your answer is no, you are not operationally excellent. If the answer is yes, you are operationally excellent. If you are operationally excellent, it doesn't mean you are market leader today, but you have a chance to become a market leader. Can you understand? If you are operationally excellent, you have a chance to become a market leader. This is the meaning of operational excellence, right? That means in terms of quality, you should be better than your competitor. In terms of productivity, you should be better than your competitor. In terms of cost, you should be better than your competitor, right? In all these aspects of business, if you are better than your competitor, you can now say you are operationally excellent. The moment you give your organization, make your organization operationally excellent, and for sure your company will soon become market leader. Because your products are better than your competitors. So obviously, customers will, leave your competitor's product and then start preferring yours. Not only in terms of quality, but also in terms of price. Yes or no? If you find a better product at the same time at a lower price, what will be the tendency? We will switch from a particular one brand to other brand. Yes or no?
Yes, yes, yes.
So, see, this is one person cannot make a company operationally excellent. For sure, that is not going to happen. It is an aggressive campaign that should be driven from the top. Aggressive campaign in the sense everyone should participate, right? And we need very good leaders to lead the campaign, give the required direction to all departments, whether they like it or not. They should be able to push them in the required direction, right? And such an aggressive campaign is known as operational excellence. And Lean Six Sigma is an approach to achieve operational excellence. It's an approach to achieve operational excellence. However, always in Six Sigma, the strategic focus, should be on the quality. Companies can adopt Lean Six Sigma if the strategic focus is primarily on the quality. See, there are different ways you can make your company number one. And at the same time, if you also wanted to ensure quality-wise, yours is the best product, then definitely Lean Six Sigma strategy can work very well. And this is what many companies have implemented, and they are really leading the market in their field. And the same thing was executed by Reliance Jio also. You all know Reliance Jio, isn't it? And when it got introduced in the market, it got introduced in the market around 2016, just 8 years. And in the year 2016, what is the market share of Jio here? Nothing. All the blue color is Bharti Airtel. This red orange color is Vodafone, and this purple is other brands. First 2 years, they are not visible in the market. Can you see that? First 2 years, they are not visible in the market, but the third year, they acquired a share of 11%. Where from this 11% customers came? Or they came from moon or some other planet? No. All of them came from your competitors only. Why did they come? Because they found your products better. Isn't it? Because they found your products and services cheaper. Yes or no? So no compromise on the quality. At the same time, the price is very competitive. And the tendency is people can No, particularly the customers from your competitors can now switch to your product. Your market share will grow. And if you continue doing it, then what will happen? Your share can further improve. Can you see that? Again, share has, your market share has increased to 27%. And in the year 2020, the market share has increased to 33%. And now in the year 2020, who is the market leader? Reliance Jio has become a market leader. Can you see that? So how many years it took for them? You might think that, sir, Reliance is such a big company. Anyway, it is a startup company in the year 2016. They might have borrowed loan from a bank. Yes or no? So any company can really become a market leader. All that required is, a proper strategic plan, strategic goal, and the right strategy is very, very important. Tell me, what is the strategy Reliance Jio used? What is the strategy Reliance Jio used?
Free internet.
Everything is free.
Into customer.
Everything is
No cost.
Cheaper services.
yeah, free service
Good connectivity.
Unlimited
for
usage.
one complete
Unlimited.
year. In fact, extended for one more year. Just because their products and services are free, have they compromised on quality?
No.
They very well know if you sell something for free, then what will be your revenue?
No.
Zero. Then what will be your profit? Zero. But how they made it possible? It is part of their strategy. How they made it? It is part of their strategy. Now, all of you, do you understand the meaning of, strategic plan? They very well know they are not going to make money for 2-3 years. They very well know. At the same time, they know what will happen in the 4th year also. They invested the money, they invested the time, they invested the effort. Lot of things they have done. Because it is executed with a very good strategic plan. Yes or no? Nothing but a long-term plan. If all of you wanted to make 10 crores, we can't make 10 crores in just 10 days. But all of us can make 10 crores in 10 years, provided we are determined. This is the power of long-term plan. What we call it as a strategic plan, right? So if you understand all of this, you can easily understand Reliance Jio was operationally excellent in these years, and that's why they have become market leader. If they continue to be operationally excellent, they will enjoy the leadership position in the market. Yes or no? The moment you come down, automatically your position will also come down. Right? So I think all of you understand the meaning of operational excellence. So in order to become
Yeah.
operational
Just one
excellence.
point, sir.
Yes, please.
Can we go back? In this Bharti
Yeah.
Airtel, they have not much damage. If we see, they
Very
are more
true.
consistent.
Very true.
So what will be the reason? Because their customer will be more loyal to them.
More loyal to the customer, and Airtel has understood the market condition, and they also responded to it nicely. Isn't it? If some changes are happening in the market, and the company should also respond to it quickly. Otherwise, something similar to the history of Nokia, we all know. Right? There is a change happening in the market, but your company failed to recognize that. Then what will happen? Then survival itself can become a question mark. Bharti Airtel, yes, they responded well, and they have retained their position at least. Now, even now, they are almost in the second position. But there are many companies you can see vanished, isn't it, from the picture? So responding to the changing market requirements, customer requirements is also very, very important, right?
Right.
Good observation. So in order to make any company operationally excellent, lot of changes required. Yes or no? You can't produce apple from an orange tree. All through the years, you've grown orange tree, but suddenly you realized apples are good. You can't make apple from the existing tree. Yes or no? You should come forward and then, change the roots. Unless and until you change the roots, your fruits are not going to change. It's very, very clear, isn't it? So changes are required, improvements are required, projects are required. If projects are not happening, trust me, learning is not happening. No projects in the company, no learnings. We all learn class by class, isn't it? First standard, second standard, third standard, and today we are, bachelor's degree in engineering. We are a master's in engineering. Today we are a doctorate in engineering. Similarly, your company will also learn project by project, right? If no projects are happening in your company, it simply means there is no learning happening. The learning and growth KPIs are very, very poor if there is no projects happening. All of you understand? So projects are absolutely essential. Hundreds and thousands of projects should happen every single year. Then within few years, you will see a drastic transformation in the environment, right? In the capability of the company. See, there are 4 types of projects. I already told you, make your products and services more and more better, right? And produce those products, offer those services faster and faster. Because nowadays, customers demand everything, to happen in no time. I order the item on the morning and expect the delivery on the same day. Yes or no? Same day delivery. Everybody is expecting a same day delivery. So faster. And make your products the operating cost more and more lower. The meaning is the cost of making, the cost of offering of a service. If the cost goes down, you will have an ability to also bring down the price. Yes or no? While bringing down the price, still you need not compromise your profit. You can continue enjoying your profit. At the same time, your product price can be brought down. And that will definitely give any product or any service a commanding position in the market. And finally, the last one, making the job easier for the employees. Now, in order to effect these kind of improvements at the operational level, you can identify the improvement opportunities and then, try to work on them. When it comes to improvement opportunities, certain improvements are very simple, easy to do, but certain improvements are very complex in nature. Six Sigma comes in that scenario. If the improvements are complex in nature, that's the time you need Six Sigma skill set, Six Sigma methodology, and Six Sigma belts. That means problem is clear, but there is no solution available. Problems are considered to be complex because there is no solution currently available. Why solution is currently not available? Because nobody knows what is the root cause. Do you understand? So these are the ideal candidates known as Six Sigma projects. These are the ideal candidates known as Six Sigma projects. Problems are visible, but no clue about the solutions. No clue about the root causes. These are the ideal candidates known as Six Sigma projects. All of you with me? Right? But if there is a problem and root cause is quite obvious, what is stopping you from fixing it? If there is a problem, root cause is quite obvious and solution is readily available, who is stopping you from implementing it? Those are very simple, efforts. But the environment should support, the people who are willing to implement those solutions. Yes or no? There has to be some motivation, like one of you mentioned, there can be some kind of incentive, some kind of rewards, so that everyone in the organization should be encouraged to participate in the improvements. Because knowingly, unknowingly, all of them participate in creating problems. Yes or no? Why can't you make all of them to participate in improvement also? You can grow fast as an organization. So some kind of arrangements required. You call it quality circle, you call it Kaizen, name it anything. Ultimately, everyone from the security till CEO, everyone should participate, in improvement initiatives. So many small problems can get fixed when they are smaller itself. Otherwise, those small problems can become a big problem later on. But definitely certain problems for which solutions are not available, root causes are unclear, that definitely requires a systematic thinking, some scientific approaches. Yes or no? So Six Sigma bells comes into picture. Clear all of you? If there are hundreds and thousands of such opportunities exist with a different kind of problem, that means so many projects are to be handled. Yes or no? Now, someone has to manage all of these projects. He is known as project manager. He is known as project manager. Now, do you understand who is a Six Sigma expert and who is a project manager? The one who is solving a problem and identifying the root cause, generating a solution and implementing a solution. He is Six Sigma expert, isn't it? But who is a project manager? Someone who ensures, right, the solution is implemented project-wise. There are so many projects happening, and someone has to manage all the projects in terms of finance, in terms of timeline, in terms of providing the resources, isn't it? So all these things will be taken care by a project manager. But as a Six Sigma expert, you will also learn certain project management skills so that you will effectively manage at least your own project. But the role of a project manager is managing multiple projects, right? And so see here, so many approaches here, whichever fits well for the kind of projects you want to solve, you can use it. Just do it kind of projects, Kaizen projects, and sometimes you can use simple the Deming cycle, PDCA, plan, do, check, act, A3 problem solving, 8D problem solving, QC circle approach. And but please note, if you use any approach that is found suitable, but however, if you have a long-term plan and then identify projects based on the long-term plan, and the top management actively supports all your improvement projects, then definitely you can expect breakthrough improvements. Can you see here? You people can achieve improvement. Some improvements are small improvements, but you can always focus on breakthrough improvement also. Breakthrough improvement is possible with hundreds of projects. Hundreds of projects executed over a period of time. But with one project, two project, what kind of improvement you can achieve? Some small improvements. So it all depends on what the organization wants and what the organization deserves. Yes or no? If the top management is supporting nicely, it definitely deserves what? Breakthrough improvement. Right? If they are happy with what they are doing, then probably no, they will be settling with small improvements. And so there are some other approaches like design for Six Sigma. Because design for Six Sigma is for development projects. There are two types of projects. One type is improvement. The other type is development. Improvement means improving from the present condition. But development means developing something completely new. Say for example, my company so far produces 10 variants of products. 10 variants of cars. Now my company is introducing the 11th variant. What is this? Improvement or development? This is actually a kind of new product that is coming to the market. Earlier, it doesn't exist, but now it exists. This is a kind of development project, new product development. Development project always requires a huge investment. If you want to launch a new product, or you want to penetrate into a new market, or you want to develop one more assembly line, one more production line, all of them requires extra investment. Always these kind of projects are top driven. Top management has to involve, isn't it? Because so much technology, they have to invest on technology, they have to invest on people, and they must come forward to take the risk. So those projects are known as development projects. But operationally, there are certain challenges exist. A process already exists, but here and there some change is required, so that you can correct the problems and prevent the problems. Those kind of projects are known as improvement projects. All of you understand? Two types of projects, improvement projects, and the other one is development projects. In Six Sigma, the development projects are known as design for Six Sigma. Are known as design for Six Sigma, DFSS. Okay. So hope everything is good so far. All of you are with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Great.
Yes, sir.
So now let's spend some time to understand certain principles. You know what are principles? Principles are nothing but the best practices. Principles are nothing but the best practices. Principles are nothing but the learnings, good learnings, particularly the learnings from the failure. If you see aged people in any family, they keep giving a lot of advice, yes or no?
Yeah.
But how are they able to give so many advices? Because they have experienced, isn't it, in their life. They have spent their whole life in learning, a one-line lesson. Do you also want to spend your whole lifetime to learn the same one-line lesson? You can simply respect the advice, isn't it? So, principles, if you live in harmony with the principles, you will certainly attract great results. Yes or no? If best practice exists and you adopt it, you will also attract good results. But if you live against the principles, obviously you will attract negative results. Right? So we are now going to spend some time to understand the principles, known as quality principles, lean principles, and Six Sigma principles, right? And then to the extent possible, try to respect them, right? Not only in your professional life, but also in your daily life, right? And we'll proceed with that. Okay, so here I'm showing you two equations. The first equation, x plus y equal to z. But the second equation, y equal to z minus x. Both of them look mathematically same. Yes or no? This is the first one. But the second one is, just the modified version. But
Yes.
which equation suits better for your company? The first equation says, x plus y equal to z. So what is z? Price. Price is derived by adding the cost and the profit. Are you working in this fashion? Are you deciding the price? Very rarely. Very rarely. If you are a monopoly and if there is no other person providing a similar service, that's the time a company will be able to work in that equation. But in all other scenarios, y is derived from z and x, where z is the price of the product and price is always governed by the customer and the market.
Yes.
What is x? Your operating cost. Now, any company has to make profit for its own survival. And if the profit is thick, yes, it can grow fast. It can help the community in a better manner, isn't it? All of these things can happen. It creates a win-win scenario. So in order to maximize the profit, you understood that the price is not in your control. It is governed by the market and customer. But definitely what is under your control? The operating cost is under your control. Can you find ways to bring down the operating cost? If you can find ways to bring down your operating cost, what will happen to your profit? Your profit will become thick. If your profit becomes thicker, you will be able to pay your employees better, right? At the same time, you will be able to survive better. You can invest on the future technology. So many things you can do, and then become more and more competitive. So this is the equation we need to respect. And in order to reduce the operating cost, we need to work on reducing particularly the cost of all failure. First, particularly, we should try to prevent all the failures that are currently happening. Yes or no? All the failures which are currently happening should be fixed so that your operating cost can come down. The known failure should be fixed. The cost associated with any form of failure should be called as cost of poor quality. The cost associated with any form of failure, any form of failure. Failure can be, your inefficiency is a failure. Your ineffectiveness is a failure. Yes or no? Not producing, not delivering the item on time is a failure. Producing, not able to produce defect-free item is also a failure. So you should be able to recognize the failure. If you could recognize the failure and then eliminate, cost of poor quality can gradually come down. What do you think if you gradually reduce the cost of poor quality, how much profit will increase? Your profit can double. Your profit can also triple. It all depends on, the what do you call the frequency and the quantum of failures you are currently experiencing. But at least bare minimum, it can get doubled. Anyway.
क्या खाएगा ब्राज? प्रताप क्या खाएगा बता मैं ला रहा हूँ.
Sir,
Okay.
I have one thing, if I can disturb you for a minute.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Sir, does this presentation matches the document that you have shared yesterday?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I just went through it, but I could not find this thing.
No, but it may not have all the terminologies which I am explaining you. The
Yeah,
slide
but
is
the
same.
slide is same. Okay.
Don't worry, if needed, I can share it again. Don't worry, whatever I am using, but minor changes I always make.
Yeah, because once
before
we have
making a
this exact
presentation.
PPT, then we can relate to the previous discussion. That's
what I'm saying. Probably, after finishing the thing,
No
I'll share
problem.
this also. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Actually,
Right?
sir, yesterday's document is a black belt document, and this document you are presenting this yellow belt document. That's why it's
I will
different.
share it. Don't worry. I said I will share it. So you will get this also. You will be able to relate very well. Right? Don't worry. Okay. So in any company, the customer satisfaction and business growth are closely related. So customer always needs faultless quality, on-time delivery, quick service, and then lowest price, right? And then at the same time, in return, you should be able to make a profit, right? So this is possible only if you are able to produce quality products, right? Your final product should have consistent quality. At the same time, your manufacturing cost or cost of offering a service should be low. And at the same time, the processes, all your critical processes should be capable, and all the raw materials, the child components, whatever you require from outside, all of them should have consistent quality. And then only customers will prefer your products and services over your competitors. Very quite logical, isn't it? Okay. All right. So these are the requirements. You should be able to respond fast. You should be able to reduce the cost. You should be able to reduce the defects. In order to reduce the defects, you learn and then apply the Six Sigma principles. What is the Six Sigma? The primary focus, you can reduce defects if you can reduce variation. You can reduce defects if you can reduce variation. Some of you might find the words difficult to understand, but it is actually quite simple. You can reduce defects if you can reduce variation at the source. Slowly you will understand. And then in order to respond fast, you must apply lean principle. Because what is lean principle? Eliminate waste by eliminating non-value adding activities. Things which are not really adding any value. Things which your customer doesn't want. Why are you wasting your time? Please eliminate that. So you will be able to respond faster. And reducing cost. Of course, both of them can help in reducing cost. You can apply both Lean and Six Sigma principles, right? So reducing defects, any initiative that you focus on, to reduce the defects means, you are improving your process effectiveness. Reducing waste means you are trying to improve your process efficiency, right? And which is possible if we respect the quality principles and the best practices. In return, what will happen? Your operating cost will come down. At the same time, your profit will get maximized. And this is known as bottom line growth, right? We affect changes at the operational level. We affect changes at the operational level. As a result, we are able to correct the failures. We are able to prevent the failures, and which will certainly bring down the operating cost and certainly maximize the profit. So what are the quality principles? Have a proper customer focus. Always you should know your customer. Always you should know your customer, and you should also know your customer's requirement. Yes or no? Yesterday we spoke. Customer means customer segment. Requirement means spoken requirement and unspoken requirement. Again, customer can be end user. Customer can be internal also. Am I correct? Suppose if your process, if you are running a compound process, what do you mean by compound process? The output of one process becomes the input to the next process. All right. So the process that is receiving the output from the previous process can also be considered as a customer, yes or no? You get my point? The process is receiving output. No, receiving, the process is actually, the output of a process becomes input to the next process. So now the process that is receiving, the input from the previous process is nothing but the customer. Say, for example, the production department produce all the parts. After producing all the parts, the output goes to assembly department. Now, who is customer to the production department? The assembly department. Because all the parts you produced actually goes to the next department, which is assembly department. So for the production department, who is the customer? Assembly. Can you see an internal customer here? Don't think always about the end user. Right now, you should be able to fulfill your immediate internal customer. What are the requirements of the assembly department?
Can we say interested parties?
Exactly. Interested parties means, it's nothing but a stakeholder. Right? And internal customer, the immediate, customer or the immediate user of your output. All right. So that is internal customer. You need to essentially understand the presence of all the internal customer. Then only you can fulfill the expectations of the end user. Am I correct? Because slowly your products is getting the final shape. It's not that straight away it comes. So there are so many stages, isn't it? And every stage there is a customer. You need to understand. So that is known as customer focus. Some of them will be within your company. You can call them as internal customer. Some of them may be outside your company. You can call them as external customer. But finally, your product, the finished product reaches end user. There are three definition coming here: end user, internal customer, external customer. You must strive to understand all their requirements, and you must strive to exceed all their requirements. All of you know the customer focus now. Then process approach and system approach. Process, exists. In every company, process exists. You should know the input and the output requirements. You should always know the input and output requirements. Please understand, variation will exist in all process. Variation, because it is what to say. This is how nature behaves. You can't say variation is nil. You will never be able to say. How many hours we have every single day? We think that it is 24 hours. Are we actually getting exactly 24 hours every day? There will be some variation, isn't it? It is, it is quite natural. So variation exists in all process, right? So we should know that we cannot eliminate variation, but definitely we can control variation. So reducing variation is the key to improvement. Very, very important principle. Factual approach. Any decision you take, it should be based on facts, not just based on opinion. You should be data driven. You should learn to make decisions using data, not just with people's opinion. People's opinion and information coming from the data, if both are matching, then it can be a fact. If people are telling something and data is not revealing the same information, that means, that is just an opinion. That is not a fact. All of you understand? So you must be data driven, fact driven, and your suppliers should also deliver optimal result. Is it a requirement? You procure raw material, you procure child components. That should also have a quality, yes or no? Because the overall quality, you are responsible. If the raw material quality is bad, automatically, it will make, your quality also bad. So these are quality principles. And now certain principles from lean. First of all, you should specify value from the customer's perspective. Whenever you are confused, Like, you want to understand whether what you are doing is really, really correct or wrong. You should learn to think from the customer standpoint. If from the customer's viewpoint, if you are able to recognize value, then only what you are doing is correct. Right? So value must be always specified from the customer's perspective. We always think that keeping inventory is helpful. But for customer, it is immaterial, yes or no? Whether you have inventory or not, right? Really don't worry. As long as you supply the item whenever I ordered, I am okay. Even if you run with zero inventory, I have no problem. So from the customer's perspective, tell me, inventory is value adding or non-value adding?
Non-value adding.
Non-value added.
Non-value adding. That means, you have understood one important principle of lean. And number two, value stream. So much work is happening in your shop floor, in your workplace. You must try to understand how the value is getting added slowly, so that finally your product becomes a final product. If you keep on adding the value, finally your product becomes a final product. Customer is now happy to buy it. So how the value is getting added, that is known as value stream. Where and all value is getting added. Where and all only work is happening, but nothing is getting added. That all, you must learn to understand that also. That is known as value stream. Identify, map, and measure the value stream. Sum of all the activities required to deliver the goods or services. Do you understand what is value stream? Everything that is happening is documented in the form of a map. Some of the tasks you perform are really value adding, but some of them are non-value adding. To create a map of everything, that is known as value stream. And now flow. Make the value flow toward the customer. All the process should should flow like a river. All the processes must be linked. All the processes must be linked, and then it has to operate, it has to flow like a river. That means no stoppages. No stoppages, because if the river stops, what will happen, isn't it? Then some kind of all the contaminations can start happening. But always the flowing water is you can expect it to be pure. The same is the logic. Your process should always keep on running. This is what we call it as flow. And then pull. Pull means for a process to perform, there has to be a trigger. For the process to perform, there has to be a trigger. Maybe the next process can give a signal so that the process will produce and then supply. Some form of trigger is required to run any process. If trigger is not received, your process will not operate. This is known as pull. You can always make to stock. You can always make to order also. Do you understand? Make to stock means you produce and then push it to the market. But make to order means customer has raised the demand and so you are producing. Which is push, which is pull? Make to order is pull, but make to stock is push. Lean insists for a pull production, right? Not push. And finally, we should strive for perfection. Continuously strive for perfection, which is nothing but continuous improvement. Right? Never settle with what you are currently getting. Always aim for a betterment. And these are the 5 important principles of lean. And now, what Six Sigma says? Focus on the customer again. Focus on the customer, external customer, internal customer, end user. And then always identify the root cause. Don't just react to the symptoms. Any problem, if you really wanted to fix, focus on the root cause and reducing variation at all level. If there is a variation at the output, why there is a variation at the output? Because there is a variation at the input. Right? So if you reduce the variation at the input, automatically variation at the output will also reduce. And slowly, poor quality products will, your process will stop producing poor quality products. Like, the reducing variation is the key. And then the teamwork. We should collaborate with the team nicely, and so that, we can produce the results in a sustainable manner. And we should have a structured and flexible approach while solving problems, while affecting the process improvement, which means if say for example, if we refer to the data, if data is giving a kind of new information, then we must we must be flexible enough to accept it. We must be flexible enough to accept the fact, right? So that is one thing. That means we should be data driven. Of course, Six Sigma is also insisting for continuous improvement. So these are all the principles of Lean and Six Sigma. I think we will stop at this point so that you all can have a short break. And then I would like to play a video. And this video will clearly, highlight the important principles of quality as well as Six Sigma. And if we don't respect these principles, the quality principles, and then the Lean and Six Sigma principle, how things can go wrong, the video will clearly illustrate. But we will watch that after a short break of 10 minutes, right? So anything you want to ask? Are we ready to go for the break?
Sir, one question I have.
Yes.
Sir, what is the full approach in Lean principle?
Full?
What is the full approach in the Lean principle?
Okay. So pull means, in order to perform any task, a signal is required. If the signal doesn't come, no task will be, performed. Your process will not produce any output if there is no demand. Demand doesn't mean, always, customer raises an order. No, internally process must be connected, right? Like in our house, we have, what do you call, like we have, the water taps, isn't it? The water taps will deliver the water only when you open it. Yes or no? That's a kind of pull. If I expect my water taps to always supply water, irrespective of the requirement, then you know what will happen. The same thing will be happening if you simply operate your processes, in a push manner. Every machine is keep on running and then keep on producing, irrespective of the demand, which is not good.
Like
Particularly
sell
if
one,
you are
produce one concept. Sell one, first sell one, then produce next.
Exactly. Correct. That means, we should, produce based on the demand only. Particularly if your, market size is smaller, and if the customer requirements keeps on changing, we should shift from push to pull. All right. Good question. Okay, so let us also take a break. Please take 10 minutes break and come back by 9:15 and then continue. Because of violating those principles. So we'll continue and to the extent possible respect those principles, and slowly your company will become operationally excellent. All right. So many principles highlighted in the video. Quality can mean the difference between excellence and disaster. You must always have a mutually beneficial supplier relationship because your supplier quality becomes your quality, right? So we always, we focus on negotiating on the price. What is required is a win-win scenario, right? Don't just depend on the price, and we should never compromise on the quality. Take a factual approach to decision making. There must be employee engagement and sharing of best practices, and leadership is taking responsibility. If there is a mistake, yes, accept the mistake. Accepting is the mistake is the first step towards the improvement. So if we can't even accept the failure, then we'll not be able to prevent it anymore. So factual approach to decision making, and always we must have a process approach also. We should know the input and the output. All the problems with the output are simply because of the input and the steps carried out with the input, right? We need to understand that. And system approach, we must always understand how all the components work together as a system, right? And customer focus, understand both internal and external customer needs and the expectation so that the end user's experience is great. Now, what is the key focus of Six Sigma particularly? Survival of any business depends on the growth of the business. Quite logical. And our business growth is largely determined by customer satisfaction. But customer satisfaction is governed by quality, price, and delivery. But quality, price, and delivery are controlled by your process capability, right? However, the process capability is greatly limited by variation and also the non-value adding activities, right? Variation and non-value adding activities. So that is why we must focus on reducing variation at the source and eliminating all the non-value adding activities. So process variation leads to increase in defects and hence the cost and hence the cycle time. So to eliminate variation, we must apply the right knowledge. In order to apply the right knowledge, we must first acquire it. That is why all of us are here together today. No, today and then in the rest of the session. So it definitely requires a systematic approach to understand variation exists. Am I correct or not?
Yes.
In order to understand variation exists, we must really have some kind of systematic efforts, and then some systematic corrections are required so that you will be able to control the variation. If you can control the variation at all the source, then definitely your output will not have any problem. All right. So a commitment is definitely required to learn this subject of reducing the variation at the source. Now let us try to understand the basic definition behind quality. So quality, simply stated, comes from meeting and exceeding customer requirement. Meeting and exceeding customer requirement. In order to ensure we always supply quality products, quality service to the customer, every company will be going through these 4 steps. The first step is understand the customer requirement. Yesterday also we spoke. Understand the customer's requirement. What is the customer segment? What are their requirements? Are these requirements specific? If not, you make it specific. After you make it specific, are you able to convert the requirements into technical requirements? If yes, good. Otherwise, you must convert it. And then every technical requirement, you should be able to measure it. You should be able to measure your performance against each of the technical requirement. The moment you make it measurable, then the metric can be called as CTQ, critical to quality characteristics, right? Let's say a call center, a call center of a bank. And as a customer, we call the call center, and the call center is simply putting me on hold for more than 20 minutes. Definitely, we all will get irritated. Yes or no? Because 20 minutes they are putting us on hold. But simply the recorded voice will keep on saying that your call is very important to us and you will be attended shortly. But this goes on repeatedly for 20 minutes. So as the customer gets frustrated and write to the call center, the service is bad. But now look at the statement. The service is bad. Customer support is bad. But what is bad? Still, it is not specific. Yes or no? The voice of the customer will always be broad, will always be vague. It is our responsibility to drill down, make it into a specific requirement. For that, you may have to interact with the customer several times. Call the customer and talk to him. Sir, what exactly went wrong? Is that our call center executives are very rude? No, they are very cordial. They are friendly. Then what is the problem? They are putting me on hold for a longer time. Oh, your problem is holding time. The moment I say holding time, this is a technical term, isn't it? Call holding time. For a call center, call holding time is a kind of technical requirement. And now ask yourself, can you measure the call holding time? Every single call is getting recorded and data is getting captured. So call holding time for every customer is recorded. So what is the average call holding time a call center is maintaining? You are now able to measure. Now this is the metric which is creating, which is responsible for the customer satisfaction as well as customer dissatisfaction. If your call holding time is maintained within the optimal limits, then it will drive satisfaction. If the call holding time is maintained beyond the optimal limits, it will definitely drive dissatisfaction. Can you understand? A metric that is driving the customer satisfaction, should be identified. Once you can identify and once you are sure it is measurable, you can call it as CTQ metric, critical to quality characteristics. Nothing but the specifications of your product and services. For a call center, the specification is, one of the specification is call holding time. Yes or no? Every product has got a specification. Every service has got a specification. I am availing a loan from a bank. The interest rate is the specification of the product. Loan processing time is the specification of the product. Yes or no? So you should be able to identify the metric, no? Metric which actually drives customer satisfaction. And you should also be able to write down a clear-cut definition of the metric. Then only you are considered to have understood customer requirement. And customer satisfaction not just depends on one metric. Hope all of you agree with me. There can be hundreds of such metrics, and you must be aware of all 100 such metrics. And for every metric, a definition should exist. If I give 10 minutes time now for you to write down the definition of call holding time, will you be able to write? You should be able to write, isn't it? But the problem is, all of you should agree on one single definition finally. And then you must also have a target value for it. You must have a target value. What should be the call holding time for our call center? Call holding time should not be more than 5 minutes. Now, what is the target? Less than 5 minutes is the target. So what is the upper limit? 5 minutes. What is the lower limit? 0. Now, target is clear, upper limit is clear, lower limit is clear. Now, customer requirement is understood. Will you be able to do this for all the customer requirement? For all the CTQs? That is the first step. The meaning of this thing is understanding customer requirements, right? Understanding the customer segment, understanding the spoken requirement, also understanding the unspoken requirement. After knowing all the CTQs, I mean all the specifications, along with the target and upper limit and lower limit, you can move on to the next stage. Once specifications are clear, you can proceed to designing the product. Or you can proceed to designing the service. Now the quality of your design decides the built-in quality. Yes or no? Whatever is there in the design, only that will come out as a product. Yes or no? If you have a problem in the design itself, then definitely your product will have a problem. So this is known as built-in quality. So you have to proactively work now because you have still not launched the product. Right? And you have to proactively understand how things can go wrong. Tools like failure mode and effect analysis, tools like Kano analysis, tools like quality function deployment, or any other tool, voice of customer analysis, right? And make use of the appropriate tools and try to identify the potential failures. Even FMEA, failure mode and effect analysis, right? Use all of these tools to proactively identify the failures and improve your design so that all these failures can be prevented. That is second step. And now the third step. The design is very much appealing. Now, whatever the design is capable of, the same level of quality should be produced in your product. For that, you must develop processes. And now the processes are developed. Is the built-in quality is getting delivered through your process? Somebody has to monitor. So you have to monitor, control those processes. Whatever is the built-in quality developed in the design, if that is getting delivered, no problem. Why some of you are scribbling on my screen? Please avoid if you don't know how to use, right? Please learn to use. All right. So we need to monitor, control, and improve the process if it is required. Please note, if you look at the sequence, first thing is quality planning. First step is quality planning. Quality planning is what you are finalizing the design. So many things, you are finalizing the customer requirement. This is how my product should be. This is known as quality planning. And once the quality planning is done properly, that means design is available. Then we move on to quality control. What is quality control? Whether the processes are delivering the expected quality or not. Right? If there is a problem, then definitely, we understand some improvement is required at the process level. Some improvement is required at the process level. So quality control will detect the problems, but some efforts are required to correct the problems and then prevent the problems. So some improvement is required. So the third department is quality improvement. Quality improvement. And when it comes to quality improvement, it can happen at the process level. It can happen at the design level also. If there is a problem at the process level, it is easy to correct. But if there is a problem at the design level, it's not that easy, isn't it? You have to redesign everything completely and then redevelop the processes. So these are the 3 stages by which, we ensure quality to our customer. What is the first stage? Quality planning. Second stage, quality control. And the third stage, quality improvement, right? So this is also known as Juron's quality trilogy. Any company will obviously having, these activities. A set of people performing the planning, set of people performing the control, and set of people performing the improvement. And absolutely essential, right? And so that the quality is guaranteed to the end user. All right. So now another important thing, understanding the process approach. What is process approach? Input, output. Yes or no? Process approach means input and output. So your inputs are converted into output by performing a well-defined sequence of activities. Imagine you have grown an orange tree. Now, what kind of fruits this orange tree will give? The orange tree will give orange fruits. We very well know, right? This is the nature of the process. But now all of a sudden, I want apple. Do you think your existing orange tree can give apple?
No.
Definitely not possible, right? That means if you want to change the fruits, you must necessarily change the roots. Without changing the roots, your fruits cannot change. But the biggest problem in many organizations is they don't want to change anything. But they want to change only the results, and which is definitely not possible, right? So process improvements are absolutely essential if you are targeting improvements in your results. Right? In Six Sigma, we call it as process improvement approach. And a process in Six Sigma is mathematically represented as y equal to f of x. Y equal to f of x, where y is the output. Y is the output. Maybe your product, maybe your service, whatever. But x are the inputs. What is this f here? What is this f here?
It's a process.
Function.
The way you
It's the
handle
function of.
your,
It's a
right?
function of.
The set of activities, you remember, right? We often say we perform certain activities. Those activities are written as F. If your activities are good, your inputs are good, automatically your output will be good. If there is a problem in the output, either you have to change your activity or you have to change your input. Yes or no? This is called process improvement
Yes.
approach. So it's a mathematical equation. This is the very, very important tool in Six Sigma. Throughout your project, you will be working with this. Right now, it looks very simple, but finally, if you go to the black belt level and master black belt level, you will be able to see a complex equation connecting your y and x. So many x and then your y, isn't it? But still, you will remain comfortable reading the equation. That is the good thing. You will remain comfortable reading the entire equation, and so you will know what to do if to affect a particular change in the y. All right. So anyway, let's first take it in the simple manner. So mathematically, y is known as dependent variable. You might have studied. Why do we call it dependent variable? Because it always depends on the values of the x. If I change the x values, y will change. But x are known as independent variable. You know why? You have the power to change them instantly. Any X, any particular X you want to change, you can directly go and change. For example, my boiler is running. I want to run the boiler at a different temperature. I will be able to affect the change. Yes or no? I can change the settings. So my boiler temperature can be now higher or can be now lower. According to my requirement, I can straight away change. But certain things, cannot be fixed by us. It will be fixed by the input variable. So in order to affect changes in the Y, we affect changes in the X. This is known as process improvement approach. Clear, all of you? Let us take a very simple example, right? So that you can understand it beautifully. Assume you are running, a coffee outlet. Maybe in 100 places you are running a coffee outlet. Now the taste of the coffee is very important to your customer. Taste of the coffee is very important to your customer. Yes or no? That is what they mean by quality. Quality of the coffee means coffee must be taste. So taste is X or Y?
X, sir.
Taste is
Y.
X or
Y.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, definitely. It is your Y. I'll say it is a bigger Y. When I say taste, is it measurable?
Yes.
You need to do a survey to understand or to measure, how tastier your coffee are. Always you can drill down. Always you can drill down your why if you understand it is, vague in the current statement. So taste means actually the coffee should be appropriately stronger. Then only it will become tastier. Yes or no? Coffee
Yes.
must be appropriately strong. So strongness is a subset of taste. Y1, I call it as Y1. Coffee must be appropriately stronger. Another thing is, another requirement to consider, your coffee as tastier is, your coffee must be sweeter, appropriately sweeter, according to the customer. There will be a target, there will be a range. So can you see your Y is now getting broken into Y1 and Y2?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, your coffee should also be, hotter. That is Y3. Stronger, sweeter, hotter. Appropriately hotter, appropriately sweeter, appropriately stronger. Maybe you can keep on adding something else also. Aroma. Now your Y is broken down into Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4. So no. Any problem with Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4 will lead to a problem with the bigger Y, which is the taste of the coffee. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So if you develop a process which can take care of Y1, also take care of Y2, also take care of Y3 and Y4, your bigger Y is taken care. Think about a machine which always delivers coffee with appropriate strongness, appropriate sweetness, and appropriate hotness with appropriate aroma. It has an excellent process in it. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, you have an excellent process because it is meeting Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4. Suddenly a problem happens. From a particular outlet, so many complaints are coming. From a particular outlet, so many complaints are coming. People are telling that the coffee is not stronger enough. The complaint is coffee is not stronger enough. Now, where is the problem? Problem is with Y1, Y2, Y3 or Y4?
Why?
Y1.
No, Y1. And now, there are so many X factors which we must know. What are the X factors for what that decides the taste of the coffee?
Coffee beans.
Coffee beans.
Quality of
Coffee beans, the milk, sugar,
Coffee bean roasting temperature.
roasting
Portion of
temperature,
milk and
mixing of
the
the
brewing temperature, proportion of the milk, coffee powder, etc. Isn't it? All of these things are X1, X2, X3, X4. Now tell me, your complaint is now about the strongness of the coffee. Now tell me, which of the X is critical now? Why the strongness is getting affected? Is it because of your sugar?
No, it's because of the quality of coffee bean and proportion.
Very good. It is because of the coffee powder. Let's say this is X1. Now X1 is critical to Y1. X1 is critical to Y1. That means we don't know, something went wrong. Now our machine is not picking the right amount of coffee powder. Now our machine is not picking the right amount of coffee powder. If you somehow, again regain the control, then problem will get solved. So the factor which can influence your output, or which is currently influencing your output in the current condition, is nothing but the critical factor. The factor which is currently influencing a particular characteristics of your product or the service is nothing but the critical factor, yes or no?
Yes.
And critical factor can be just one. Sometimes there can be multiple critical factor. That is also possible. We need to identify the critical factor, and then we must validate the critical factor, and then we must fix the critical factor. Fixing the critical factor means you have to modify the X. Now tell me, amount of coffee powder is X1 and the strongness is Y1. How are they related? Are they related positively or negatively? Positively means
Positively.
if I increase the coffee powder, the strongness will also increase. This is known as positive relationship. If you know the relationship, you can handle the situation very nicely. What the customers are saying, sir, coffee is not stronger. And you very well know that coffee powder is the culprit. Now, what will you do? You will make adjustment in the machine, right? Now, the amount of coffee powder getting picked up is not sufficient. So, you make some corrections in the machine. So, now the machine will pick up the required amount of coffee powder. That means coffee powder is increasing. So, what will happen to the strongness? Strongness will also increase. You are now able to fix a problem because you have identified the root cause. Because you have identified the critical factor. The critical factor can be one, can be many also. Critical factor in the current condition are nothing but the root causes. Clear, all of you? Critical factor in the current condition of the process are the root causes. Otherwise, they are potential causes, they are possible causes. We will call the factor as a root cause because in the current condition, this particular factor is pulling my result, pulling my particular Y. Clear, all of you?
Yes.
Now, Arvind, you want to ask something here?
Yes. Yes, sir. So here the bigger X is the culprit is though the coffee powder. The bigger X is the machine or the X1, X2, X3, and X4, sir.
Come again with your question. Bigger extra.
So no, sir. We have bifurcated the problem into 1, 2, 3, 4 actually. So if we address all those, it is because of the machine. It is not dispensing the right amount of coffee powder to give the aroma and the strongness of the. So we have to address the bigger X in computing all X1, X2, X3, and X4. Am I right, sir?
Yes. See, that's what I told you. There can be multiple root causes also. But right now, as far as the strongness is concerned, the effect of the coffee powder is more. There can be effect coming from the milk also. There can be effect coming from other factor also. But every factor has got a particular quantum of influence. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Like your decision is influenced by all your family members. Am I right? Your children can influence your decision or your behavior. Your spouse can influence your behavior. Your parents can influence your behavior. Tell me who has more power to influence your behavior?
Then we have to validate the significant causes.
Yeah, validation also. Yes. So, see, please note, we very well know in a coffee, the amount of coffee powder is critical to strongness of the coffee. We very well know. But in my particular machine, is it really because of this? How can you validate? Whenever complaint is received, immediately if you can collect the information about the amount of coffee powder that is, picked up by your machine, then you will be able to validate. So validation is very simple. Whatever is your doubt must be supported by the data also. If your doubt is supported by the data, that is what is known as validation. In Six Sigma, we call it as a hypothesis test. We call it as a hypothesis test, nothing but an experimental procedure. We perform experiment, generate data, or we make use of the available data. And we will try to understand what the data is communicating. If what data is communicating and your doubt both are same, it is validated. Clear, all of you? So root cause identification, then root cause validation. Then, before taking action, you must study the relationship. Whether the root cause is related positively or negatively. If it is coffee powder and strongness, they are positively related. Yes or no? More coffee powder, more strongness. Less coffee powder, less stronger. Similarly, sweetness, when it comes to the sweetness of the coffee, which is critical now? Sugar is critical. If I remove the sugar, then coffee, will not be sweet at all. So how much influence coming from sugar? Sweetness is
50%.
completely caused by the sugar only. Yes or no?
Yes, 100%.
So 100%. So that means, the fact that this particular X factor controls your Y, particular Y2, 100% influence. Something similar to, the influence of your spouse. The major influence is coming from your sugar is controlling the sweetness. So any problem with the sweetness, the single root cause is, sugar, amount of sugar. And sugar also positively related. More sugar, more sweetness. So if you want to increase the sweetness, just ensure you add more sugar. See, if you know the relationship, solution will automatically evolve. That is the message I want to give. With the coffee powder, with the coffee and the ingredients, the discussion is going on very smoothly. But when it comes to a real-time problem, with respect to your product, with respect to your service, you should also have a clarity on your why. Yes or no? If you lag in terms of the clarity on your why, most of the time we talk in terms of bigger why. Bigger why is always vague. You must break down it, isn't it? Talk in terms of a specific why. Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4. Then you will be able to discuss better and try to understand where exactly is the problem. Is the problem is with Y1 or Y2? And always solve problems one by one. Don't try to solve everything in one go. It's not that much easier. Solve problems one by one, right? And then, so for that, the step is like root cause identification, root cause validation, and step number 3, root cause relationship. Root cause relationship. And final step in the root cause analysis, whether understanding the number of root causes. Understanding the number of root causes. Is it only sugar which is responsible for the sweetness in the coffee, or is there something else also responsible? And we very well know it is only sugar. So the number of root causes are just 1. How much is the influence coming from sugar? 100%. This influence that is coming from a particular factor can be measured statistically. Yes or no?
Yes.
Can be measured. I remove the sugar and if I drink the coffee, it will be sweetless. Yes or no? I add half the sugar, my coffee will gain the sweetness. I put full sugar, my coffee will be completely sweeter. Can you see here? Whenever I affect the changes in the X, I could easily see the changes happening in Y. And just by changing this sugar alone, I am able to bring the sweetness to the required level. That is why I said 100% influence is coming from this particular X only. Once you measure the amount of influence a factor can make on your Y, you can judge how many factors are involved. If you are not able to reach 100%, what does it mean? There are some other factors are also affecting. Yes or no? By adjusting the sugar, if you are not able to reach the appropriate level of sweetness, it means sugar alone is not deciding the sweetness. Something else is also deciding, isn't it? So if the variation in the data can allow you to understand the amount of influence, this is called sufficiency of factors. This is called sufficiency of factor. Please note, in order to talk in terms of the relationship between X and Y or sufficiency of the root causes, you must develop knowledge about a statistical tool known as regression analysis. What is the tool? Regression analysis, which is nothing but a process by which we generate an equation connecting all the X and Y. We generate an equation connecting all the X and Y. So please understand, all of you, your root cause analysis doesn't end with fishbone diagram. Am I right?
Yes.
We all use the fishbone diagram while fixing a problem. Drawing a fishbone diagram is a starting point of root cause analysis, not the ending point. Fishbone diagram can only give you all the X. But what is required? We should identify the critical X. Or if you list down all the X, you can only call them as possible X factors. You cannot call every factor as a root cause, yes or no?
Yes.
Possible causes, then you narrow down, shortlist them. Once you create a shortlisted list, you can call them as potential root causes. Do you understand? First, you must call them as possible root causes. Then you make a shortlist. Now they are known as potential root causes. Now check every potential root cause with the data. Some of the data might confirm that the potential root cause is now troubling your result. Yes or no? Now for those factors, you can call them as critical factors or the actual root causes. Then make an attempt to understand how much influence this factor is currently having. If the influence is more than 80%, you can conclude this is the single root cause. Normal practice is, if the influence is more than 80%, then how many root causes are affecting your result? Just one. If the influence is not 80%, below 80%, then definitely there are few other factors which are equally playing. Do you understand? So how many root causes are currently affecting my result? 4 steps involved in root cause analysis. Just keep it in mind. We will strengthen your understanding gradually. All right, because some of the terms are new to you. So slowly we will help you learn all of these things, and then you will feel extremely comfortable as we progress. All right. So this is what I want to communicate with this slide. So now let's proceed. Now think about any product. Now look at the product I'm having in my slide. What is the product? You all like it very much. A laddu, right? Laddu. And now laddu also has got certain, in laddu also customer required certain quality characteristics. Do you think laddu also has some specification?
Yes.
CTQ characteristics, critical to quality characteristics. What are the CTQs? Can you list 1 or 2 CTQ characteristics for a laddu?
It should be soft.
It has to be tasty.
Tasty is taste is not CTQ. Tasty is voice of the customer. What I want is technical specifications for a laddu.
It has to be round.
The ingredient that we are using should be of good quality so that the output is good.
Ingredients are X factors, not the CTQ. CTQs are your Y variables. CTQs are your Y.
Shape and quality.
Again, it is broader, not specific.
Sweetness.
I want you to define it.
Round.
It should be round.
Very good. Laddu should be round. If I sell laddu in a cubical shape, nobody will buy my laddu.
Shape of laddu. Weight.
Very good. Now you are coming to the point. The weight of the laddu should be uniformly same. Customer expects that.
Correct.
You can't give laddu in different sizes. They'll not come back. They expect consistency in the quality, consistency in the weight, consistency in the size, consistency in the color,
And also
consistency in
packing.
the sweetness, consistency in the strength of the laddu. Am I right?
Correct.
Your laddu should not become bundi the moment I touch it. No. Yes or no? Everything you should be able to measure it. You can measure the diameter, you can measure the size, you can measure the weight. Tell me, how will you measure the strength of the laddu? Will you be able to measure the strength of the laddu?
It should not crumble.
Yeah, it should not crumble. So you will do some experiment, isn't it? You will do some experiment and try to understand how much force it can withstand. Nobody is going to crush a laddu under a machine. No. But definitely, laddu will be transported to so many places. It will move within the box. Are these laddu capable of withstanding those movements, those forces? That must be tested and you can arrive on a formula, isn't it? So everything you should find a way to measure it. Once you find a way to measure it, you can call it as a CTQ. Now there are certain CTQs I could finalize. The weight of each laddu, the diameter of each laddu, the color of each laddu, and the adhesive strength of the bundis. The bundis are, sticking to each other. But nobody, you see, sometimes you need not, go to the extent of, measuring the adhesive strength. But at least certain requirements, if you approximately fulfill, that is also okay. Right? So you find a way to measure it and ensure every single laddu you produce meets the expectations in terms of all the Y. And in order to take care of all the Y, you will be working with all the X. Yes or no? You see all your X here written on the left side. You need some, some flour, some milk is required, some ghee is required. These are all X variable. Because all these X can influence your Y. Right? And you arrive on a step-by-step procedure of making laddu. SOP, you are writing in SOP, isn't it? If you are making laddu for your weekend celebration, then you don't require all of this. But if you really want to make laddus and then sell laddus in to a huge to a big range of customers, then you must definitely have an SOP. And then SOP must be respected. Then only you will get consistency in the quality. Yes or no? And then you may appoint some operators, some people to make the laddus for you. You may give them some assisting devices, yes or no? So that the laddu can always come in a circular shape. The weight is managed. Job will be easier. They will be able to produce faster. You are now talking, thinking indirectly about the productivity. How many laddus per hour you are able to make? Because there is a huge demand for laddu everywhere. So you have a big market and you have to take care of your productivity and you have to take care of your quality and everything in a consistent manner. This is how. This is. Oh, I am not able to mute him. Magesh, you must mute yourself. Okay, yes, muted. So this is how organization build business, right? All right. And now, will you be able to think in similar line with respect to your product, with respect to your service? If you are interested, I expect all of you to perform a small assignment, right? Like, for your product, can you identify at least, 3 Y variable, 3 CTQs for your product or your service? Can you identify 3 important CTQs, critical to quality characteristics? It must be a Y variable, not a bigger Y. Please note. It must be a specific Y. If you say this is Y1, you must have a proper definition for it. Weight of the laddu means the total weight of the one single laddu unit, and it must be 60 grams. So there has to be a definition for your Y variable. There should be a target value. There should be an upper limit and there should be a lower limit. Do you understand? You must identify three Y variable, CTQ variable for the product and the service you are currently dealing. You may be a pharma specialist, or you may be a medical doctor, or you may be, an engineer or a production manager making some camshaft. Whomsoever you are, anyway, you are dealing with a product or a service. Can you identify three important CTQs? Side by side, can you also list down all the X? Can you also list down all the X? Right? And this is called, process knowledge. Right? This is called, product knowledge and then the process knowledge. And this is very much essential to fix any problem. This is very much essential to fix any problem, because any problem, any customer complaint will obviously related to any one of the Y. Yes or no? Any problem with the Y is definitely because of one or few of the X factors. It's very important for you to know the Y and X in your equation. So this is what we call it as process improvement approach. Process converts the input to output using resources. Process has got two kind of parameters: effectiveness, other one is efficiency. Effectiveness means the ability of your process to meet the customer requirement, right? If there is a problem with the output, it is simply because of the ineffectiveness of the process. Please note. So which is actually causing the defect to happen? The ineffectiveness of the process. The way in which you designed the process, you developed the process is not effective. It is fundamentally the ineffectiveness. We call it as defect. Same manner, it is fundamentally the inefficiency. We call it as waste. Both effectiveness and efficiency, both are important, right? That's what I mentioned today, the beginning itself. Effectiveness cannot be compromised. Any problem with the laddu and nobody will buy your laddu. And efficiency must be optimized. Then only the cost of making a laddu will be minimal. If the cost of making of your laddu is minimal, then what will happen? Your profit margin can be thicker. At the same time, make a good profit without compromising on the quality. All right. Hope everything is clear so far. Process improvement approach. You are able to think in terms of Y and X. You should always be handle any situation by using this Y equal to F of X thinking. Take care of the X, your Y will be taken care. If Y is taken care, customer satisfaction is guaranteed. If customer satisfaction is guaranteed, all your business results are guaranteed. All right. So X and Y are very important. Now you see some people on the left side, they are the architects behind Toyota production system. Today we call it as Lean. And people on the right side, they are the architects behind Six Sigma. The people on the left side, they are from Toyota, the Japanese company. And people on the right side, they are from Motorola, the American company. Right? All these things happened, between 1950s to 1980s. And let us understand a little story. In 1960, the Japanese, they learned quality principles, best practices from Americans, because Americans were, already having a lot of best practices and leading the market in many, many areas, particularly in the automotive domain. Ford, which is a US based company, was actually catering to the demands of the for the automotives globally. So people from Toyota, particularly this person, AG Toyota, he visited Ford, stayed there for 3 months, and he understood their best practices, and then he came back. And with the support of these other people, Taichi Ono, he is very instrumental. Taichi Ono, he is the one who introduced the concept of 7 waste, which you discussed yesterday, Tim Wood, right? And he is also known as father of Toyota production system. He is also known as father of Toyota production system. And all these 3 people, they developed a system which can cater to the requirements of Toyota. Toyota is a new company that time. The idea of the company is to make and sell cars within Japan. That time the idea is to make and sell car within Japan. Japan is a small country, isn't it? Compared to the global market and other things. That means they wanted to produce, not in a, they understood mass production is not suitable for them. They need to produce cars in batches. Again, the Japanese people, they always like varieties. If you make a car, you should give me car, multiple colors. You should give me car with different features. That means, they expect, several variants. So in order to at the same time, the cost has to be minimal. And whenever customer places an order, they immediately, expect the delivery. By understanding all of this, they developed a system which is specifically applicable to meet the requirements of Toyota. Do you understand? They studied, they benchmarked Ford. Ford already had Ford production system. They had a moving assembly line and so many other things, latest developments they had by that time itself. They studied and customized those best practices to suit the Japanese market. And they named it as Toyota production system. And the Toyota production system is based on two important pillars. One is, right sizing the resource. One is right sizing the resource. Other one is built-in quality. Other one is built-in quality, which means, any problem with the quality of the product, our system itself, should detect the abnormality and then, give some signal. If some abnormalities are, detected automatically, then what will happen? We tend to correct it immediately, so that, the mistake cannot go to the next stage. Another area, another concept is, right sizing the resource. Right sizing the resource means resources will be provided only in the needed quantity. If you only have the money that is required for a particular purpose, will you plan to misuse the money? No. You only have the required amount of money, right? So whenever the resources are, provided only in the correct quantity, people simply cannot use them inefficiently. So these are the two important pillars behind the Toyota production system. And as a result, what happened? They were able to produce better quality products to the extent that they can give a tough competition to the American products. So 1980s, the Americans, they started feeling the pressure. Slowly learning from American, they have become a big headache. So 1980s, and one of the American company, particularly Motorola, they have understood this and they wanted to actually break this particular competition. So they embarked on a new approach and they named their new approach as Six Sigma. They named the new approach as Six Sigma. It is and the person particularly behind Six Sigma is this person, Bill Smith. Because that time he found that he in one of his research paper, he clearly mentioned that the field life of a product mainly depends on the amount of rework it is going through while manufacturing the product. If the amount of rework, if it is more, then the field life will be less. That is his finding. All of you, do you accept this statement? If a product is reworked so many times, those products
Yes.
are expected to have a lower field life. This is his finding. He published it in a particular journal also. So this person, and then along with the statistician who is known as Dr. Michael Harry, they were given the responsibility to ensure the Motorola grows 10 times better in the next 5 years time. So that responsibility was given to these two people, and these two have developed an approach for which they named it, that approach they named it as Six Sigma. And there is a logic behind naming it as Six Sigma. I'll tell that. And prior to that, and this person is nothing but the CEO of Motorola, Robert Bob Galvin. Robert Bob Galvin, Bill Smith, and Dr. Michael Harry. And Bill Smith is known as father of Six Sigma. And it is Dr. Michael Harry who developed the belt level, because all these logics and concepts, are based on statistics and engineering, are bridged together to develop this Six Sigma approach. So the logic behind naming it as Six Sigma is any process will have a variation. If any process will produce, will definitely have variation in the output, yes or no? Suppose
Yes.
if I, based on the training, if I conduct an exam, do you think all of you will get the same mark? No, there will be a variation in the mark, and hence there will be a maximum mark, there will be a minimum mark, yes or no?
Yes.
The difference between maximum and minimum, that is what we call it as a range in statistics, yes or no? Difference between maximum and minimum. So the spread of the process can be understood by locating the maximum and minimum, yes or no? Your process has spread from minimum to maximum. Let us say the minimum mark is 20. The maximum mark is 80. What is the spread? 80 minus 20?
60.
60. Now, can you see the spread is too much here? 20 means people are failing. 80 means people are scoring well. You see both extreme. You see both extreme. That means your process, you have a poor control over your process. That is why spread is too much. If the control is really good, you know what will happen? Everybody will score around 80 only. The lowest mark is 75, highest mark is 85. How beautiful the process is now. Now, what is the spread? 85 and 75. What is the range?
Right.
Just 10. Your range is 10 now. That is an evidence that you have good control over your process. Yes or no? So once you know the spread of the process, you get to understand how much control you have over your own process. So the spread is nothing but, yes?
Center of the process, we should know where.
Yeah, center of, we need to look at the range also. I mean, we need to look at the spread also. We need to look at the center also.
Yeah.
Let us understand one by one.
Yeah.
So spread, I am talking about spread now. The spread should be as minimum as possible. All of you agree? If the spread is low, the control is good. If spread is more, the control is bad. All right. So in order to understand the spread, one way you can calculate the spread is, quantify the spread is calculate range. What is the formula for calculating range? Maximum
minus
minimum. Please note, if you have a large volume of data, the range will become equal to 6 times standard deviation.
Yes.
The range will become equal to 6 times standard deviation. So we'll slowly understand what is standard deviation and then what is Six Sigma. So that means any process will always have a spread equal to Six Sigma. Yes or no? Based on this logic only, the approach was named as Six Sigma. You measure anything. Right now, if we have a lot of time, we can measure all your height and weight. Type the height in one column, type the weight in one column, and we can find out the lowest height. We can find out the highest height. Now that we have data of 100 people, yes or no? You calculate standard deviation. Multiply by 6. That will more or less will be equal to the spread of the data. The lowest height and the highest height, that will be filled by 6 times standard deviation. So this will happen normally. Naturally, this will happen. Unless and otherwise, your process is highly influenced. If the process is running normally, definitely this logic will apply, and that is why they named it as Six Sigma, and we will develop further understanding about it. And with the help of the Six Sigma, they are really able to make better products, and they are able to make a good amount of saving, and that really helped Motorola to come up very well in the competition. So from the year 2000 onwards, Lean and Six Sigma got integrated. You know the reason, because both are important. So now you understand why organization needs both Lean and Six Sigma, because profitability and customer satisfaction both are important, right? So now, shall we close the session exactly by 10:30? All of you, are you okay with it? Another 10 minutes?
Yeah,
right. Yeah, we'll finish it by 10:30. All right. So this is the kind of saving success stories Motorola realized. A saving of $2.2 billion every year. If we look at the numbers are impressive even today. But these are the results, achieved in 1980s, right? And followed by Motorola, ABB, Asia Brown Boveri, and then again General Electric. All of them, who embraced, which the companies which embraced Six Sigma, all of them have seen result. And the results have come not only from manufacturing department, but also from non-manufacturing department. So what is Lean Six Sigma? Lean Six Sigma is an operational excellence model. It is an aggressive campaign which has the potential to boost the profitability, increase the market share and the customer satisfaction using quality as the strategic business focus. The result is business customer satisfaction, cost reduction, legal compliance for any organization. And it is not that easy to use statistics and then make people make decision in a data driven manner. Yes or no? Do you think immediately people can start using the data? Many companies don't even have record of any data. So some efforts are really required to create a good infrastructure of people in the organization first, who are really intelligent enough in terms of the language of Six Sigma, in terms of using the data. Because one important principle of Six Sigma is factual approach to decision making. Every decision must be based on data only. Whether you are solving, a simple problem or a complex problem, you must definitely have validation, right? So white belt is nothing but an awareness level knowledge. That is what we are trying to impart yesterday and even today. We have not gone inside the subject, isn't it? We are only, talking around the concept. How we are trying to convince you that Lean Six Sigma can certainly help you. Yes or no? If you say yes, then you have become a white belt already. If you are still, not willing to accept the fact that Lean Six Sigma can help you in your career, can help your organization, then again, a lot of effort required just to see you as a white belt, right? So white belt is an awareness level knowledge. And once someone is a white belt, he is, really convinced about the, benefits of Lean Six Sigma. He come forward and give his complete cooperation in driving improvement projects within any organization, right? So awareness level training has to be given to all people in the organization, no doubt. Then the change management will become much easier. Number one, particularly it should be given to the top management, right? Because their buy-in is the beginning. If you are not able to get their support, if you are not able to get their blessings, and you can't think about all these systematic approaches, very, very difficult. All right. But white belt knowledge is not sufficient enough to really work in projects. So a formal training has to be imparted to people, and the immediate next level of proficiency is yellow belt. Yellow belts are the team members in an improvement project. Yellow belts are like the team members in the improvement projects. They must be guided by the project leaders. They must be guided by the project leaders. Always yellow belt work according to the guidelines, instructions given by the project leaders. Like how nurses work in a hospital. Nurses always work according to the instructions and guidelines given by the medical doctors, yes or no? So yellow belts are equivalent to that. They are participating in the project, but they are not project leaders. They are project team members. A specified task will be assigned to them, but they do have good knowledge about the Six Sigma principles, importance of data, isn't it? Process thinking, and all of them they will have, so that they will be able to ably assist the project leaders who are normally green belts and black belts. Who are normally green belts and black belts. So green belts and black belts are nothing but project leaders who not only know the basic principles and certain tools, they also know, they are also familiar with the statistical tools and techniques of Six Sigma. So they can lead the projects, but what is the difference between green and black belt? Green belts are part-time Six Sigma experts, which means they are expected to do one or maximum two projects in a year. That means 80% of the time they continue with the regular work, but 20% of the time they will be spending on improvement. Do you understand? In a year, maximum how many projects? Only two projects they will be doing. However, black belts are full-time Six Sigma experts, full-time improvement agents. They are expected to do 6 to 8 projects in a year. Throughout the year, their job is improvement. Can you see that, all of you? So, moreover, a black belt is capable of handling even complex projects. Black belts are capable of handling cross-functional projects. But green belts normally identify projects within their area of influence, within their department only. However, a black belt, will be working on even cross-functional projects. All of you understand the difference between yellow and green and black?
Yes.
All right. And then comes another belt, master black belt. So master black belt, is the one who can actually train the employees and transform them into white belt, yellow belt, green belt, and black belt according to the requirements of the company. Based on the projects, your company definitely requires yellow belt, green belt, and things like that, isn't it? So master black belt is one who has the ability to train the existing employees and then convert them into yellow, green, and black. And not only that, master black belt, closely work with the top level committee, and the committee can be called as operational excellence committee or business excellence group or quality council. And it is the quality council that is responsible for development of the strategic goals, strategic KPIs, tactical KPIs, operational KPIs, and finally identify so many projects. Because they foresee that some of the KPIs, cannot be achieved. And so projects are identified. You understand? And so in order to drive all those projects, you need properly qualified, professionals, properly qualified employees. And so yellow belts, green belts, will be involved. All right. So it is the master black belt, who act as a trainer internally, who will also coach whenever required and mentor whenever required. And master black belt is the one who will, actively involved in developing all the KPIs. He won't do it independently, but then he works as a team. And then you have two more roles. One is champion, other one is sponsor. Sponsor is nothing but the person who has the power to provide resources to the project. Every project, if it has to be executed, some resources are required. Yes or no? So the person who has the authority to provide the resources to the project team should be called as project sponsor. All of you understand? He may be, the plant head, or he may be the general manager, or he may be the CEO. It varies from company to company. Whoever has the ability and power to sponsor resources to the project, he is known as project sponsor. Then who is champion? Champion is the person who will be liaising between sponsor and the project team. He gives approval, sponsor, but the champion will liaison between the sponsor and the project team, and whatever resources are sanctioned, yes, it will be provided to the project team through the champion. In some scenarios, some cases, the champion and sponsor may be the same person. Possible, right? So now do you understand, all of you, the hierarchy of Six Sigma? You know the meaning of everything, right? Definitely this kind of infrastructure of people is required to drive projects and then deliver results. So what is,
Sir,
so
all
the
the
responsibilities are, yes, please.
Can you go to the back slide?
Yes.
So, sir, like your ad is coming on LinkedIn. So I see up to that black belt. So master black belt champion courses are also available with your team.
Yeah, master black belt is available. However, the champion and sponsor are not, the expert. They are not speaking the level of expertise. Please understand.
Okay.
These are leadership roles.
Okay.
A sponsor may be an yellow belt, maybe a green belt, maybe a black belt. Same is the for the champion, right? The role of the sponsor is to approve the project, approve the right project, and provide the resources. Some people have to work on the project. Some budget is required. Some testing have to be performed, isn't it? So they are not the expertise level, but it is like, the leadership role.
Okay.
Is that clear? Yeah.
Yes.
But master black belt is a separate course. Yes.
That is
Sir,
available.
please elaborate the champion, please.
A champion, is the person who will be liaising between the sponsor and the project team. Suppose if you are driving a project, right? And some resources are required. Let's say 10 people have to work on your project every day, 2 hours. But currently, you are not getting 10 people. Only 5 people are available. Now, who will fix this problem? You can always represent this to the champion, preferably, a higher level authority to whom you can actually, as a project leader, you can go and meet him and then communicate the challenge you are facing. So what will happen? Somehow he will set things right and then you will be able to proceed with your project, right? That is known as champion. Clear?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. So the same thing is narrated here. You can read and then understand. I have already explained the roles. So this is very important. So what is Six Sigma? Six Sigma is a management philosophy to meet the business objective by reducing variation. It is a disciplined data-driven methodology for decision-making and process improvement. You see here, there are two processes. One process on the left side. Can you see the spread of the process on the left side? And similarly, you can also see the spread of the process on the right side. Which process has a lower spread, left or right?
Right.
So it indicates you have good control over the process on the right side, but you have a poor control over the process on the left side.
Yes.
If you have a poor control, obviously the tendency will be, it will fail frequently, yes or no?
Yes.
If I draw the specification, upper limit and lower limit, since the process has got a higher spread, you can easily understand the process can produce output even beyond the upper and lower limit, the tolerance provided by the customer. So rejections are happening with the process having a higher spread. But this process completely operates inside the limit. Can you see that? So the chances of this process producing defects and defectives will be very, very minimal. So this process is considered to be highly capable. It operates completely inside the spec, that too with a lower spread. Whereas this process operates inside the spec, but with a higher spread. Hope all of you could understand this, isn't it? This is a little statistics here, but still you could understand. So this process is considered to have more capability, whereas this process is considered to have lesser capability. Since it has more capability, we call it Six Sigma process or a Four Sigma process. Whereas this process has got a poor capability, so accordingly the sigma levels are down. And how to calculate sigma level, we will understand little later. So Six Sigma can be used as a metric, can be used as a methodology, can be used as a way of management, can be used as a philosophy, right? Metric means what is the effectiveness of your process? What is the DPMO? What is the success rate? What is the failure rate? Everything, you will be able to calculate. So Six Sigma can be used as a metric, can be used as a methodology. There are two kind of projects. One is improvement, other one is development. For improvement, the methodology is DMAIC, define, measure, analyze, improve, control. For development, the methodology is DMAIC, define, measure, analyze, design, and verify, right? And Six Sigma can be a way of management. Companies like Caterpillar, they have an in-house Six Sigma program. The promotion, the salary hike, the incentives are decided based on their, Six Sigma certification and based on their ability to contribute to the organization growth and based on their ability to deliver results from the project, right? So Six Sigma can also be used as a way of management. You can manage people very effectively by integrating the growth of the employees with a Six Sigma certification. And it is a philosophy. It can be applied, across all domains, no matter, no limitation. So define means you are trying to identify the specific problem, which your customer is currently experiencing. A problem well defined is half done. That means you should be able to express the problem within a measurable metric, right? You express the problem in terms of numbers. Measure means you understand the current state of the problem accurately. Analyze means identify the root cause and try to fix identify the root cause, understand the relationship. Now improve means you fix the root cause, which is nothing but the solution. Control means take measures to sustain the solution, right? So these are the 5 important stages in a project: define, try to understand the Y variable which is under trouble. Try to understand the Y variable. We call it, CTQ. And measure means try to understand the current state of the Y variable. But you must measure the Y variable without any error. Right? Always measurement error is possible, sampling error is possible. You must effectively control and analyze. And now try to understand the root cause, validate the root cause, study the relationship, improve. Improve means you fix the root causes, nothing but the solution. And control. You now control the X. You no need to control the Y. You control the X, automatically Y will be controlled, right? Our focus is to develop a control plan. So this approach, can solve any problem. Whether the problem is complex, moderate, or simple, this methodology can solve. And how are we going to equip you with this methodology? Phase by phase, we are going to equip you. Next week onwards, we will be teaching you phase by phase. And every phase is carefully broken down into 3 simple steps. Totally 5 phases, 3 steps each. So total how many steps? 15 steps. So you are going to master these 15 steps one by one, starting from identifying the project till celebrating the success and documenting the results and officially closing the project. Everything is a step-by-step approach. And I'm not going to read it out. Rather, we'll be going through it one by one as we progress. See here, there is a recommendation here, phase-wise. Recommendation of the tools. Define phase, and this is not a hard and fast rule, but in most of the project, these kind of tools will be used in define phase, voice of customer, voice of business, CTQ tree, ocean planning, and things like that. In measure phase, analyze phase, improve and control. And when you get a time, please go through the material and try to just to be familiar with the names. However, we will be discussing them one by one. So this actually completes our learning. Now, before declaring the closure, let me ask few questions to test your understanding level. What do you think is the focus of Six Sigma? Reduce defects or reduce waste?
Reduce defects.
Defects.
Very good, very good. And Six Sigma originated from which company?
Motorola.
Motorola.
Right? Motorola. Very good. And who is known as father of Six Sigma?
Bill Smith.
Will Smith.
Very good. Answer is Bill Smith. Very good. So you are not sleeping. Good. What is the focus of lean?
Reducing waste.
Reduce the wasteful activity.
Reduce the
Very good.
waste.
Very good.
Efficiency.
Very good. An organization want to improve their existing products. Which methodology they should use?
DMAIC.
DMAIC.
Improvement means DMAIC. Very good. DMAIC is otherwise called as
Define, measure, analyze, design.
very good. DFSS. Design
for
for
Six
Six
Sigma.
Sigma. The expansion is define, measure, analyze, design, and verify.
Define.
Effectiveness means, what is your understanding? Hereafter, when you use the word effectiveness, what does it mean?
To meet the customer requirement.
To meet the customer
How
requirement.
closely-
It's an ability to produce defect-free products. Ability to produce defect-free services. In general, ability to produce defect-free output. Clear?
Yes.
Efficiency means what?
Optimize the
Optimizing the
consumption.
resources.
Reduce waste.
Very good. Optimizing the resources. Correct. No, consuming exactly the required resources. No overconsumption, right? So consuming exactly required resources is known as efficiency. That means waste-free operations, right? That means staying productive. So Six Sigma means doing right things. And lean means doing right things
Right.
in a right manner, right?
Right manner.
More important, right? Six layer doing right things is Six Sigma, and doing the right things in the right manner is lean. Both are important.
Lean.
So root cause analysis. What are the steps involved in root cause analysis? First, you identify the root causes. Identify the root cause. Then you validate the root cause. Then study the relationship. Then check the sufficiency. How much influence is coming? Right? If the influence is close to 100%, then you can proceed with the action. If the amount of influence is just only 20%, 30%, it means you need to understand other root causes also, right? Statistically, we can find everything. That's it. So this completes our discussion today. So thank you very much for your cooperation. Even though we got delayed, I could see all of you cooperating nicely. So I'm done with the plan today. However, from the next session onwards, we will take a deeper look on the DMAIC. What is defined, and what are the steps involved, what are the tool involved. That is how we are going to proceed now. So you can take a leave, or if some of you would like to stay back and ask some questions to me, I am available. Right?
Sir, can we get these questions
Thank
for
you.
review?
Yeah, you asked, I already agreed to share the slides. Don't worry. I will convert this into a PDF and then share it.
Sure.
I'll put it in the group. Yeah.
Thank
Anything
you,
else? All right. Thank you so much. If there are no questions, good night. Yes.
Thank you.
You had said that the spread of the process should be quite less, right? When you actually
Yeah,
spread.
yeah.
So how do you deal with process outliers in that case?
Yeah, yeah. See, if outliers are happening, you must, try to understand why an outlier happened. Say, for example, one of you scored the mark in a single digit. In spite of conducting the training and everything, somebody scored in a single digit. Can I call it as an outlier?
Certainly.
Certainly, because the average is somewhere around 80, 85, and everybody scored around 85 only, but only few people scored in single digit. They are outliers, clearly. If you are far, far away from the average, then you are an outlier.
Yeah.
Now, how will you deal with such outlier? You have to interact with them separately. You should ask them, hey, what happened? Why you are not able to score? Then you realize he is not well. Then you realize, he has a poor internet connectivity. Then you realize, there are many, many things you can realize, but definitely requires some investigation. Right? And then if you understand the causes for the particular outlier, you must try to fix those causes. If you fix it, the outlier will also come in the normal range. He will also start scoring around your average. And now he is no more an outlier. But whenever you see an outlier, an investigation is required. If you have the habit of ignoring the outlier, then gradually there will be more outliers. Clear?
Yeah.
We'll be discussing in detail. Good question. Okay. Thank you very much. Hope you all gained some good knowledge yesterday and today, and this will continue to happen in all the session. And definitely, as we finish off the modules, you will definitely feel the transformation. Okay. Thank you so much. Good night, all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night.